ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time again. We are back in the studio, back at home, recovering from World Cup a little bit. It was a long week out there in Florida. But before we get to all the World Cup stuff, we've got a very special guest tonight. He's related to one of the guys on the show, and we're going to talk about him in just a minute. But before we do that, we got to bring on our co-hosts who are here every single week on the show. Stephen Hatch, I'm going to bring you in first. Leave Brandon Baird in the dark for just a little bit. How you doing tonight, Hatch?
You know, it feels good to be back. I actually have my voice, you know, we're about an 8 out of 10, because if you guys knew me and you guys saw me at Cup, my voice was shredded. So it feels good to be back. Got the lozenges on deck, ready for this episode.
Yeah, it's coming back a little bit. It was a little rough. I was talking to you even last night. It was still pretty broken up. So I'm glad that, just before
lozenges
the podcast comes
deck.
through, it's starting to come back. We love that. The other thing, Hatch, did you enjoy our 40 minutes of troubleshooting we had to do to start this podcast?
Oh, man, definitely. I love podcasting.
We've been sitting in this call for a minute, man. So I'm excited to get into it. If it wasn't for our guest tonight, we would have just pushed through and went along anyways. But before bringing him in, got to bring out the co-host, the other one on the show every week, Brandon Baird. Brandon, it's a special night tonight. Do you know what night it is, Brandon?
Episode 100 for me.
That's right.
Yeah,
baby.
2 years.
Joined us 20 shows late, but finally got around to the 100th. And someone brought this up. It's a great point. If you take away all the shows that you've missed, you're not even close to 100. But fuck it, we're giving it to you. It's a bond mystery. Who brought that up? Christopher. Shout out Christopher Struck, one of our cool Cobra of the Week homies.
That's so valid.
All right, you're gonna. I have some words for you, Chris.
See, but it's a good point though, because it's true.
Yeah,
accurate point.
You know, I don't like the
it.
truth, so
you can't handle the truth, Brandon. All right, guys. Well, let's keep this train moving down the tracks. Let's get to our sponsors. We got to talk about them real quick. Liquid IV. We got them every week on the show. LiquidIV.com. If you listen to PTG this last week, Cyrus Gehringer, the MVP of World Cup, quoted in that show saying Liquid IV helped keep him hydrated and ready to go on Sunday to perform at his best. If it's in his gear bag, it should be in yours. That should sell it by itself. But if that doesn't, they've got a lot of great flavors. They've got all the scientific nutrients that you need to keep hydrated, keep at your peak performance throughout the day, whether you're at the field or maybe you're just going through life and you need some more hydration. Liquid IV, it's a great option for you. They got the sugar-free and the sugar formula, so options as well there. LiquidIV.com is where you're going to go to get all the information about the flavors, and then the promo code over there, Mafia_Mafia, is going to save you 20% off and get free shipping when you use it at checkout. Go check out Liquid IV. We appreciate them. They helped Paintball Fit win a fucking World Cup, so we love that as well. They're the best in the sport. We appreciate them for supporting the podcast. Next up tonight, we got NECTR Energy, NECTR.energy. I've already thrown one in because I was about to fall asleep as we were doing our 30 to 40 minute technical intro. It was a lot of fun. But NECTR Energy, they're helping to pick me back up, getting me going, because they've got caffeine and a neurotropic in it. It's a little pouch that you throw in your mouth. It's kind of similar to like a Zyn, a tobacco product, something like that. But the big difference is there is no nicotine or tobacco in this product, just the caffeine and the neurotropic that I mentioned. If you want to check out all their flavors, they got them online at NECTR.energy. NECTR.energy is their website. Use promo code MafiaProductions, just all one word, MafiaProductions, and you're going to get a buy two get one free. So you're going to get a free can in your first shipment if you want to check out a new flavor, see, try which ones you like out there. Last but not least, on our sponsored segment tonight, we have weltsclothing.com. Welts Clothing, they've got great stuff. They're run by a world champion, another mention of the world champion Paintball Fit team tonight. We will be talking about them later, but Scott Stewart and the boys down there in Texas, down here in Texas, they do really cool things for the sport down here. They create a lot of limited edition apparel. They sponsor and support some teams down here. They're just doing some cool things for the culture, and they help support this podcast as well, and we definitely appreciate it. If you want to check out some of their limited edition apparel, it drops every first Wednesday of the month, Welts Wednesday. They've always got some cool banger items up there, some straps, some hoodies, some long sleeves, some tees. You never know what it's going to be. It's always different every month, so go check it out at weltsclothing.com, promo code FTS to save 10% off at checkout. All right, boys. Well, Brandon, for the first time on this podcast, I'm going to let you introduce the guest tonight, okay? This is big responsibility. I've never let either you or Hatch introduce the guest, but this one I will only let you do,
Which one's
okay?
mine going to be?
You'll never get one, Hatch. Sorry,
yeah,
buddy.
We'll see one day.
All right, so on my big 100th episode, we brought someone near and dear to my heart. Very close to this person. I came from this person. I lived in this guy's ball sack for several weeks, maybe. But
all right, it's already gone weird as fuck. His dad's here. Michael Baird's on the podcast. God damn it, Brandon. Never letting you introduce someone again. Mike, how you doing? Machine Gun Mike's finally in the building.
What is up? Hatch, next time I'm on, you could introduce me.
Let's go.
Hold on,
Permission.
Hey, Hatch, I want you to know, I know that there's a whole father issue with you, but think of me as your dad, okay? I got you right here.
Yes. You got yes.
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 Think of me as your dad, all right?
Papa.
I got you.
Papa.
On the
Yes.
surrogate mustache.
I
Love
needed
that.
this. I needed this in my life. I feel so much more complete. Void
All right.
filled.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, to give some backstory, if you are new around here, new to the podcast, hey, I appreciate you for stopping on by. Brandon Baird, our co-host, joined us on the 20th episode of the show. Joined us a little late, but we needed a person to come on in, and ever since then, he has been one of the most consistent and, one of the best guys to be on the show. We're so glad to have him as the co-host. So
Second most
tonight,
consistent co-host.
we thought we would bring on his father, and if you don't know the backstory with Machine Gun Mike is a original member of the Iron Men from the early 90s, back when before I got involved and before all that stuff went down.
We formed the team in 85.
All right, calm down. But we wanted to bring him on tonight to talk about some of the old times. If you're a Patreon member, you'll see some of his comments in the Patreon at times. He's a hilarious guy. He's an old soul. It's always a great time when we get to talk with Mike. So yeah, I definitely wanted to give a little background for everyone if they're wondering why we're having Brandon's dad on. But there's a reason, and it's a good one.
Yeah, I do know a little bit about paintball. Been around just a little bit.
Been around longer than all of us combined, old man. What are you talking about?
Well, there's that.
Damn.
Yeah, I started playing in 1984.
Winning World Cups before we were born.
Yes, I did. Winning pro tournaments, winning World Cups, winning series championships long before any of you guys were born.
That's so badass.
Yeah, so and that was back in the good old days when it got a little rambunctious and crazy out there. I did want to obviously talk to you a little bit about your history and background for people who are unfamiliar with you. I guess where does it start? Where does the Baird name start to get involved in paintball?
A longtime family friend, coworker of my dad, this guy Paul Dyer. I've known Paul since the early 70s. My dad met him at a work camp up in Canada. He's from England originally. He ended up living with us off and on over the years when I was a kid. He heard a radio interview with the owner of the National Survival Game field in Pinole in North Bay. And so he contacted my dad, said, "Hey, Rick, set this up." My dad made a phone call, made arrangements for us to go, and it was, since my dad was a union iron worker, it was a bunch of iron workers. I was there, another guy had his son, a guy had his fiance, and it just grew from there, and it was a group of a group of iron workers and their family members. And after a couple months playing, my dad said, "Hey, look, they have teams, and they play against each other, and there's tournaments at the end of the year." So, we bounced ideas around for a team name, and since it was all iron workers, my dad came up with the name Iron Man.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, it's not just a coincidence. No, that is the name that started the franchise that would become the NXL Pro Team that is still around today.
Yep.
It all started with the Bairds.
Yeah, it was my dad, my stepmom, myself, my older brother played for I don't know, a couple years back in the 80s. So yeah, it was definitely a family thing. And now obviously Brandon and Michelle and my two grandsons, Brandon's nephews, Gage and Wyatt, they both play, and they both played in the World Cup. They've been there, and so yeah, it's a definitely a family affair.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it is just crazy to think about those little, instances in time that then change, how the future unrolls. I saw a post from Dan Napoli. He was talking about kind of like his first time at World Cup in '99. He wasn't even supposed to go. Someone kind of dragged him to it, and his life kind of changed after that. Going to that first event. But there's those little moments in time that always happen, and I think one is the origination of Ironman, and what that brought to not only the Northern California paintball scene as a whole and what that still kind of is today, but what it brought to kind of what it means to be a professional in paintball. Ironmen really were kind of the first viewed as like sponsored and supported professional team, and that was because guys were the first best team. Like you guys, were the first kind of legends or locals in the game.
I would say Navarone was predated us. They're not around, obviously, but Navarone was really the first team that was fully sponsored, and they were the first team to really take it to the next level, being professional about it the way they went about. Because paintball was always kind of, and it still is, a free-flowing game. Kind of like hockey, like basketball. You have some set plays, but it's free-flowing. It used to be more so back in the day, where Navarone was the first team. Sorry, my dog. Navarone out of Southern.
He's got a lot to say on the topic, I hear.
Yeah. Anyway, Navarone was the first team to have set positions. They had a point, they had a wing,
Gotcha.
They had a cover, and each squad had their own job to do. Each member of the squad had their own job to do. The point did a certain thing, then the wing, then the cover, then so they set it up like almost like a team where again, each position, you were a position player, where paintball wasn't like that before. You'd have crawlers, you'd have shooters, you'd have front players, back players, whatever, but Navarone really took it to the next level. And we're very dominant.
So
Interesting.
But
kind of bring it in the organization.
Yeah, and we kind of took it to the next level beyond that, where with the sponsorship money and the way we treated the sport and the way we were treated, and we were very much called the first true pro team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's funny that you shout out Navarone there, because it kind of shows that no matter when you entered into this game, there was always someone that you kind of looked at first, and you were like, oh, wow, damn, they're really good at this, or they did this. I want to go do that now. And we've seen that throughout time.
There were teams.
I mean, but I'm going to get this in. The Iron Kids literally stole your guys' name because they were like, look, these guys are great. And that was kind of after the separation stuff. And I understand, all this stuff goes crazy there. But I think it goes to show is like, even back at the earliest days of '85, there was instances of people being like, oh, wow, they're doing it different. I want to do what they're doing and do it better than them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really elevated paintball as a whole in Northern California. With all the teams, and eventually we were all pro, because in the early days you were either a walk-on or you were on a team, and then you were either on a team or you were on a tournament team, and the tournament teams played tournaments, and they played by a different set of rules. Even though constant air, the large CO2 refillable tanks were on the market, tournament teams still played CO2. The 12 gram CO2.
12 grams.
12 gram CO2. That's how we
stock
played.
Class.
Yeah. It's essentially stock class nowadays, but that differentiated a tournament team playing by a different set of rules than how all your walk-ons and everybody else played. Then
and this was really before there was like mass, national leagues, right? I mean, there was some tournaments here or there.
Yeah, but no, there was the National Survival Game, right? And they ran their tournament circuit very similar to Little League does. In Little League, each field has a tournament to see who represents their field. Then they all come in the district and have a district tournament to see who moves on to regionals. Then you have a regional winner to move on to nationals, and that's how NSG did it. You would get a representative from your home local field, and they would go to regionals, and the winner of regionals went to nationals. You couldn't just pay and go. You had to earn your way to the next level. And there was 12 teams at nationals. There were 10 regions in the United States. Canada was a region, and the returning champion got a free ride in. So that made it a 12-team tournament. And that was,
but I see what you're saying there. A little different.
Early days.
Yeah, a little different because even, let's say you're kind of a mid-level team in your region at that point in time, you're still just playing guys in your region because maybe you're not winning your way out to go to that next level just yet. You need to work up to get there. So yeah, it's still kind of interesting how it kept it local, but still, there was a chance to go play other people at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, and
what are some qualities that really separated people back then? Obviously, we know what kind of separates good players from bad players now. What are some qualities that you would look for in a player, like especially with the different regional ball?
Sheer tenacity and heart,
grit.
Yeah, grit, tenacity. Those
are still important today.
I don't know, it was less athletic back then, or no, I won't say that. There were some true athletes, but there was a bunch of older grizzled guys that just didn't run through the woods. They trotted through the woods, but it was more kind of fucking gnarly and smash mouth, playing woods ball. And it was 15 man. Get 15 guys plus a couple, alternates and travel cross country. That's a big endeavor.
That's getting wild. Yeah.
Have a 15 man teams with like a 45-minute time limit. A game of capture the flag in the woods. Yeah. One game. That's one game. 45 minutes in the woods. It's crazy.
And how much paint could you guys shoot realistically with? How much was it in your
40 balls.
They weren't like
what?
like
40 balls?
Hold on. So yeah, the name Machine Gun Mike. I shot a lot of paint and I shot fast. I remember going in '86. We went to regionals down in LA. Everybody was buying. When you automatically get like 3 tubes of paint, 3 tubes. That's 30 shots, right? Because 10 balls in a tube. So
it's the like 10-round little plastic tubes, right? They almost look like mini pods, kind of.
Well, yeah, like they're basically
pods.
Cigar tubes is basically what they are.
Big pods for Brando.
Yeah. But they're 10 shots. Well, so everybody's going up before the first game. They're buying 1 more tube of paint, 2 more tubes of paint. I walk up and I buy 18 tubes of paint, and everybody's.
How much was a tube?
$3 a tube, 30 cents a ball. Wrap your head around that, Hatch. 30 cents a ball.
Right? 30 cents a ball.
I'm doing math real quick.
What's the conversion on that to today's
I got
today's
you.
case?
One sec. 30 cents a ball times 2,000. $600 case, brother.
Okay. Right.
Jesus.
But we're talking
like. We're just talking, to do the math, let's say you get a case today for 55, divide that by 2,000. You're shooting the ball for 2 cents today. Yeah. So almost 15 times more expensive.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so, but then again, the technology wasn't there. And we were all shooting nail spots. It's just one shot at a time. Any pumps were made at home. Nobody even made pumps. You had to make your own pump. It's all made out of PVC.
Well, like mass production of paint wasn't where it's at today. Like you said, the markers weren't shooting as fast as they were today.
No,
like
not at all.
There's a lot of reasons why.
Yeah, they didn't have the accuracy. They didn't have the efficiency. They definitely didn't have the speed. They weren't adjustable. Nowadays, it's the technology is ridiculous nowadays compared to how it was. But I bought 18 tubes of paint, and everybody was fucking shocked. Because I shot like that.
Damn.
I shot a lot of paint. I was one of the youngest guys on the team.
Wait. Can we blame Machine Gun Mike for starting the paint wars? Like when you got to buy 40 cases at an event now, can we blame all of that? Like the butterfly effect of one man buys 18 cases, and this is where we get
18 tubes. 18 tubes.
Or 18 tubes. Yeah. No cases.
Yeah, and that's what I carried on me. I had a harness. It was for it would hold 6 magazines, right, for like an M16, but I can fit 3 tubes in each little pocket, and
Nice.
Anyway, so
Also, Mike, you dated yourself by calling it an M16. It's an M4 now. We've come a long way.
It was old. Yeah, you're right. It was M4A1 or whatever. Anyway, hold on.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving you crap. It's one of my favorite things to
I'll
do.
do this right now. Hang on.
There
real
you
quick.
go. Yeah, pour that out. Yeah, you need the blue
Hell
moon.
yeah,
We're gonna
baby.
need one of those.
There we go.
We love that.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective really quick. 18 tubes, 180 balls. Our hoppers hold more than that.
Oh, I know.
A hopper's like 220, 240,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
like 2-4. Yeah. So again, I shot a lot and I shot fast. That's what I was known for. I wasn't always the most accurate shot. It was accuracy through volume. That's how I lived my life.
Yeah.
That's what I got here.
And well,
That's what we got here.
Hey,
I do find it
man.
funny too, because you're saying like I wasn't the most accurate. We're not accurate today. We just shoot a lot of paint. We shoot 10.5. We just make sure that if I have a chance, I'm gonna put 3 balls there and one's gonna hit.
The thing about 10.5, it's fast, obviously, but then again,
It's not 15.
we did the with our CVOs. Wait, was it the CVO?
Yeah,
we
it
measured
was the CVOs.
The CVO, and Brandon hit 12.0 balls a second, dead on 12. I thought, fuck, that was quick.
Yeah.
When
When I ran that CVO,
I ran mine up to what was it, 14.6?
14, something like that. It was almost 15. Yeah.
Shooting a mag gun, 15 BPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how he got hit. I know how he got my mom. Yeah.
God damn it, Brandon.
Yeah, baby. Yes,
I will say, the
Hey,
CVOs
if that was the
are
case,
awesome,
you
though.
wouldn't be here.
That's a good
the
point.
finger, you wouldn't be here.
All right, I'm pulling this out of this fucking topic.
Hold on,
When I
I
took
gotta-
that CVO down to Texas to play Mech X-Ball, that thing was constantly out shooting the TFX that I borrowed to take down there. I was like, I would get on it real quick and be like, oh, I'm shooting fast. Oh, and I'm just chopping paint. I need
Yeah.
to slow way the fuck down.
Yeah.
Those guns are awesome.
Yeah, but I could actually shoot my amp faster.
Okay.
The amp is just so much smoother, so
like-
much more efficient.
Side note, definitely, but I really love the new mech guns. The E-Mechs, the
They're also
CVOs, the
high
Shocker
quality.
Mechs. Like,
Yeah.
man, if I had a $120 marker when I was a kid that I could shoot 10 balls a second at and like it would work reliably on me, I would have loved paintball so much more. My Spider Victor could never, bro. You kids today don't know how good you have it, all right?
And we
You
loved
don't
it
have
back then.
macro line hanging off.
Like those guns back then, we loved that.
Oh yeah,
And-
dude! I upgraded the shit out of it. I babied it. It was my baby. I loved it. It was
Yeah.
horrible. It was a piece of shit. And E-Mech blows out of the water every day.
Yeah, really,
Absolutely.
Technology today is ridiculous. Because again, back with a nail spot, dude, I had my nail spot so fucking tricked out, but it was all done at home. Everything was done at home.
Had to get it on the bench.
Yeah. So much fun though. Those early
Yeah.
years where all the custom work you had to do yourself or pay somebody to do it for you. Now you just pick it up out of the box and the thing fucking rocks. No matter if it's a $120 gun or a $1,700 gun.
Yeah. And to be real, the $1,700 gun and the $800 gun are pretty much the same fucking thing at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
there's
just
small
like barely
differences,
cheaper
but-
parts.
So you're telling
Yeah,
me I
but-
didn't have to spend a lot of money on Brandon's gun when he got married?
I appreciate it, Dad.
Okay.
I appreciate
That
it.
was a wedding gift. So.
Yeah, that was a wedding gift. Hatch, my other son.
Also-
you get married.
Whoa,
you
chill,
get married.
chill.
I'm son.
Chill.
Hey, hold on.
Oh, God.
Hold on. Son Hatch.
Okay.
You get married,
What's up, Papa?
and you just might find yourself a new gun.
See.
It might just show up in the mail,
Dude, it's so tempting. It's so tempting.
Gun fairy might appear.
A life of near happiness, but a new fucking gun.
Damn.
I know.
there you go.
Fuck.
I was gonna say, Brandon, can we also appreciate how autistic your ass is that you're holding your marker right now? He said he was talking about the engagement present. It literally
worry,
was
I got
in
the-
his hand.
Yeah, I was ready. It was like, yeah.
Is
Full
me
setup
Michelle
too.
put together?
Not just marker as a as a bit. You literally flew back from Florida this week. I knew you rebuilt that in your home between now and Monday.
Oh, it was. Wait, no. Wait. I got here for Wednesday. Wednesday after I got home from work.
You rebuilt your setup. You're so autistic for paintball. I love it, man. You love this
rebuilt my
sport. I can
setup.
tell.
You have no idea. I lived my entire life for paintball. I mean,
This is explaining so much. Thank you,
literally.
Mike. I'm now.
Me too.
I'm picking it up.
I really did. It was I wouldn't go to work someplace if I didn't get the time off. I can't tell you how many relationships I lost over paintball.
Oh,
Because
speaking my language.
because that was more important. Sorry, I'll get laid somewhere else, but that was.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Hatch, I couldn't just
You
swipe
know what I'm
right,
talking
swipe
about.
left. Hold on. Hatch,
It was a different generation.
I couldn't swipe
Yep,
right
yep.
and go get laid. I had to actually
Holy
go out
shit.
and meet girls. I had to go out
Valid.
in person.
Valid.
In person.
I was a swiper, yes, swiping kind of guy for sure.
So,
Yes.
Yeah. And then you
Yes,
met the
son,
one.
that's
and
what I understand.
She,
Yeah,
she's
I'm
making
I'm
him
blessed.
into a refined man, and we appreciate her. Thank you,
I'm
Tegan.
blessed. Now I gotta try my best not to get the cool gun for free. I gotta hold out, you know. gotta really torture myself
God damn it.
because it's like, oh, that marriage, that's fucking crazy though.
How did
it
we
is.
get to
It
hatch
is.
marriage within 30 minutes of the podcast? I don't know. Back to a little bit of the machine gun mic stuff,
Sorry.
because I do want to talk about World Cup later on as well. There was so much to go through in that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, what we got you on, Mike? You were talking there about some of the custom work that was done on markers and products throughout the early days of paintball. One of your teammates throughout the early days was well known as one of the first kind of modifiers and tinkerers in the game. How was it to play alongside Bob Long in those days, kind of before the split, and maybe talk a little bit about that experience?
So Bobby, I worked out at a paintball club on Mount Diablo, right? Diablo Adventure Games, and Rick Sendeas was a bow hunter. Bobby owned an archery shop, and again, Bob was a world-class bow hunter. A world-class, held past tense because he lost them all because he was, caught illegally hunting, and so they stripped all his records. But he had multiple.
shit.
He had multiple world records bow hunting.
Now we're
Anyway,
defaming
so-
Bob Long on the podcast. All right.
Yeah. So, right. Anyway, so Rick knew
Shout out
him.
Bobby.
Rick Sendeas knew him, and Ricky started to play at Paintball Sam's in the Sacramento area, and went to Bob and said, "Hey, Bob, there's this game, this paintball game, and we had recently opened the field. Been open about a year, Diablo Adventure Games, and so they, Bobby found that field." And came out, started to play, and he loved it so much. And Bob had money. He went and he spent money and bought the most expensive gun, everything, all the best money he could buy. And he enjoyed it so much. He would rent the field. He'd go out there on Sundays and play with him and his crew. And then he would also rent it out on Wednesday afternoons. And it'd be 4 or 5 of them would come out, and we'd just split up and play like 3-on-3. Because he wanted to get better. He really wanted to get better. And just loved the game. We were playing in a tournament in Sacramento, and some of the regulars couldn't make it. We had 2 full 15-man teams, Ironman 1, Ironman 2, and some of the guys couldn't make it. And so we needed 4 or 5
30
guys.
men
and,
on the roster.
Yeah. Well, that's
That's
there's more than
ridiculous.
that. There's more than that on the roster.
Men.
Fucking football team, man.
But anyway, so
Hell yeah.
my dad wanted me to ask Bob Long because he got to know Bobby, but I knew him better. My dad had me ask Bob and his crew, the Delta Archery guys, if they wanted to come and join us, play on the team at a tournament. And we took first place, and at the end of it, my dad offered them, a full spot on the team. Gave them all fucking patches, and they became Iron Men. And it was Bob, and it was a couple of his employees and two of his nephews and Rick Sendejas and another teammate of Rick Sendejas, this guy Dennis Wolf, all old school guys. But out of that whole crew, the only two that stuck were Bob Long and Rick Sendejas.
Okay. And they were the guys who did then come over, I guess, when it went down to like the 10-man squads and, the numbers started dwindling down.
Yeah.
They stayed on through those rosters as well.
Yeah, then when my dad left after 98, wow, old man memory kicking in.
98, 89?
89, then too.
98. I was born in 98.
Yeah,
Only a little off.
So I think 89, the Masters in 89 was my dad's last tournament. And he stepped down, and Bobby was just the natural leader. So he just slipped in.
Okay.
He was never given the team. He was never asked to be the captain. He just slipped right in. But then also Bobby had financially, he could go out and buy a dozen plane tickets, and we would pay him back.
Interesting.
So
he could afford to put it all on the card and then wait for the guys to kind of get him back for it.
And how it worked is they had like an American airline credit card, and he'd buy
rack up the points,
and he and Phyllis would fly for free, which was fine with all of us.
There's a man named Dave Baines who likes to do the same exact thing. Man's got points on points.
Oh yeah,
the points is where it's at.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know about the points game, get involved in the points game. It's how you save money when you're traveling for paintball.
You're losing if you're not doing that.
No, 100%.
Then it came down with sponsors and with real money coming in. He would still use his credit card and get the free points and just pay himself back out of the team account. Once there was real money coming in, and hey,
that's not even a shady thing. I do that. Like that's how you take advantage of a position like that. You get some free points for yourself, and everyone on the team gets all their flights taken care of. So it works out.
And credit, bro.
It was nice. We were told, all right, be at this airport at this time. We're leaving. We would show up. They'd hand us a ticket. We'd get on the plane. But
it makes it easier for you guys.
Yeah, Phyllis, Bobby's wife, did all the travel arrangements. She did everything. She kept stats. It was funny. Other teams would go to her and see, because she knew she literally had more stats than people running the tournament. So other teams would go to her to find, hey, who's in first place in our division? How many points do we need to advance? Everybody would go to Phyllis because she knew before the scores got posted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And back in those days with the scoring format, it a couple points could mean a lot. So yeah, knowing that going into your match could be a nice thing to know.
Yeah, because again, 10-man woods ball, a max is 100 points. Shut up, dog. A max is 100 points. So,
dog.
Right? Well, she's a little. Anyway. So
no, that's no. Yep. Don't kill the dog. Don't kill the dog.
No.
No.
Yeah. No, we don't talk about dead dogs. Too soon, right, Hash?
No. Too soon.
Yep, too soon.
Sorry, son.
I made you laugh, Brandon. It was worth it.
You're good, Papa. You're good. I appreciate it. You're good.
But with 10-man, again, capture the flag, 25-minute games, with 100-point max, if you got 90 points or you got 6, it really made a difference.
Yeah.
So
I guess maybe just in case that, let's say Gavin's listening to this, one of the newer guys who just got into paintball. Back in the day, it wouldn't just be if you won a match or lost a match. It would be how many points you scored in that match, and all of your prelim matches would be combined together for your overall prelim score. And then that score would decide who moves on to the playoffs. So, like he's mentioning here, if you have one game where you only, you get the hang in the first poll, so you get like the 75 points that is, but, only one of your guys stays alive. If a team gets a perfect game, then maybe they're going to beat you out in the seedings to move on to playoffs. So every game kind of counted a little more.
Absolutely, you played 3 games a day. You'd play 3 games Friday, 3 games Saturday, So it was a potential 300 points on Friday. After everybody played Friday, they reshuffled the deck. They reseeded everybody. And you played 3 more games on Saturday. Then, you know, if you had 600 or you had 550 or higher, you're advancing. So you needed to win by flag hang the majority of your games. It got to the point where on Friday we'd end up with 300 points. We have 3 maxes, and we would play a total of maybe 10 minutes combined between all three games. Total time of 3, and we might lose one person.
Wait, and these are 25-minute matches?
25-minute games, and we play a total.
And you're playing 10 minutes of game time in a day.
Yeah, dude, we were fucking rolling people.
Yes, running through teams.
Dude, if you stop to clean your gun, you miss a game. You break paint, you just fucking keep going. Oh yeah, because there was no time, dude. When you know you're hanging the flag in 3.5 minutes, you know, and that's 10
ridiculous.
man. Yeah, it was, dude. It was a lot of fun. It was.
Mm-hmm. I could imagine doing that good back then. Like you're smurfing on kids.
It was fucking ridiculous, and that's against other pro teams. That's not against that's not against chump teams. That's playing against pros, and it also, after the years, it got to the point where we were kind of going through the motions, and we wouldn't really get up for it until Sunday. We'd go through the motions Friday, Saturday. We'd make the cut. Sunday morning is the semifinals, and it was 8 teams in the semis, right? And again, there was 2 brackets of 4, and it was a round robin. You played the other 3 teams in your bracket. The top 2 would advance. So, you know, you'd have 3 games Sunday morning, then if you advance, 3 more games in the finals. And again, it was always a round robin. It wasn't just 1 against 2 and 3 against 4. Yeah. You'd have all 4, and you play all 3 other teams as a round robin, and then accumulated points between all 3 games. That, you know, that's how you enter into the tournament, the seeding wise.
Yeah.
Damn, what a breakdown.
Very different format, completely different format to what we see today.
Yeah, totally.
And I do see why, because really this format, X-Ball as a whole, was, you know, introduced kind of right in the mid-2000s when we had that 10-man split where it kind of went from the 10-man series to Super 7s in the PSP and then the NXL side as well. And the NXL was definitely meant to be more like a traditional, you know, something happens and points are scored. Instead of being like every player gets 2 points. If he kills someone, that's a point. If you pull a flag, that's 25 points. If you hang it, it's 50 points. Like they just tried to simplify it a lot more. It'd be like, okay, if you hit that buzzer and you're alive, you get a point. You do that more times than them, you win the game. Done.
Yeah, see, it's very convoluted, but for a spectator especially, it that doesn't know the game, it's very confusing. Too many moving parts. But
I didn't know 10-man scoring until like 2 years ago, bro.
Yeah,
I've been playing ball a while.
I still don't know 10-man scoring.
I was like, oh, I understand it now.
First flag for points, you know. Yeah. So you know, you talked about Bobby. The moment that I thought he was always paintball smart and business smart, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to talk about intelligence, but he's always been very paintball smart. And when he speaks, he's the center of attention always. You know, he has a way of talking, way of telling stories. He's always the center of attention. Well, we were at a tournament, 92, I think. I want to say Chicago, but I don't recall exactly. No, it was 91. It was one of the tournaments in 91. All Americans were coming up big, right on our heels. Right, it was us out here, and this is before Aftershock came around, and it was us and All Americans, and it was kind of seating wise. they ended up, just because of seeding and a coin flip to see who got which flag station, they ended up playing every game in the prelims, all 6 games in the prelims, on the same field. And then they had like flag station A on the first game, and they had flag station B every single game after that. So they played 6 games already on field 1. 5 of them were from flag station B.
From the same start
From
box.
the same
Okay,
start
so I see what
box.
you're saying.
Okay.
And this was back in the day, to fill in context for listeners who may not know, this is back in the day when there was 7 different fields that all had different layouts on them,
Yes.
had different, grass
Yeah,
types,
it
had
was-
different,
One
woods.
side has an
advantage being on the
advantage
one.
over another. Yeah.
Yeah, everything is completely different to these fields.
Yeah.
It's not like the NXL today where you go to the Falcon field and it's the same layout than the HK field. It's just set up differently, or in a different place. So yeah, that's huge to play 6
So-
games in the same spot, dial in your shots. You know
And-
exactly what's up.
Exactly, and they had 6 maxes. We had 6 maxes. We drew them in the semifinals. We're in the same division. We win the coin flip, and Bobby says we're going to take flag station B away from them because they had that 5 times, right? So we and they maxed us. They spanked us. They advanced and we advanced into the semifinals. Same field again. At this point, it was the last game. The last game of the tournament was us and them for first and second. And again, every single game was on the same field, right? They played 2 times from A, and they had played 11 games at this point. So 9 of them from flag station B. We win the coin flip in the finals, and Bobby said, I gave them their flag station. We took A. And I think, what the fuck, man? They've won. They're spanking people from B. They beat us from A, but they barely beat us from A. Let's take B again. Let's give them A. And when I questioned Bobby, he's all, I saw how they beat us from A. We're going to do the same thing to them. And we fucking beat them. So I went, fucking Bob Long is pretty fucking smart at this game. You know? He gave them the flag
Ballsy
station.
Bobby.
Yeah, he gave them the flag station that they were just dominant from. But when we had it, they beat us from the other one. So Bob took the other one and said, we're going to do the same thing to them that they did to us. And it
See,
fucking worked.
what the All-Americans didn't realize, and this is a thing that it happens in paintball, even at World Cup. This happened this past weekend. It's hard to beat a team twice. You don't want to win the first one, because if you win the first one, a lot of the times in paintball, the other team seems to win the second one. It just seems to happen. Fit did it to Damage this last weekend. I mean, you guys did it to them way back in the day. There's plenty of examples where a team beats someone in prelims, and then you face off again in the semifinals or quarters or whatever, and it's a different story. You got the footage, you got the look on them already.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
we did. We set up the game plan and ran exactly what they did to us. And dude, it wasn't an easy game. It was a fucking nail biter. It just barely came down to the wire, and we hung their flag, and we took first, and they took second. And that was in '91, and that's really when I went, wow, Bob is pretty fucking paintball smart. He really knows what he's doing, and his track record after all these years shows. Harley, go to bed. Go. Just go to bed.
Go to bed, dog.
Go to
Go to bed.
Go.
Go to bed, dude.
Go to bed.
I love it. All right, so we are getting towards the hour mark here, so we will start to
already?
transition into the World Cup stuff in a little bit. But before we do that, one kind of final question from me, and then I'll let the boys kind of get a last moment too with you. I am curious, what is your favorite event that you've been to? Whether it's a win you got, whether it's a location it was at. When you think back to your kind of playing career back in, either the 90s, maybe it's even something you've gone to recently, what is the event that stands out that you're like, that was fucking killer? That'll be a lifetime memory.
Wow. I have a lot of wins.
Okay.
Saw the flex.
Right. I would say probably at Paintball New York, it was always my favorite. Jerry Bronze Field in upstate New York, my absolute favorite tournament field. Always played well on that one. I would, how can you not pick a World Cup win, as your favorite. It was
Okay. Yeah.
and
this old World Cup. This is before we were in Florida.
Oh yeah. In fact, it was the last 15-man tournament. It was still 15-man. It was like right
Beautiful
at the end
choice.
of the 15-man, where 10 it was transitioning into 10-man. I love that field. Always played really well in that field.
Where was that field at? Do you remember? Like which city?
In Newburgh, New York. It's still around.
Newburgh, New
Newburgh,
York.
New York.
I thought he sold it, or are they selling it? They're trying to sell it.
I think Jerry was selling the land to the city.
Right.
But right now it's still operating. It hasn't closed down yet.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Okay.
And that was really in '87. We went. It was the second annual Air Pistol Open, huge tournament, and we took, I think, fourth or fifth, but the top three advanced. And actually, Navarone won on a coin flip because it got dark. And they said, well, we could either come back Monday morning and play the finals, or flip a coin. And everybody was flying out Monday morning, so they literally flipped a coin, and Navarone won the tournament.
That's awesome.
I think it was the Florida Annihilators took second off that coin flip.
That's funny, just looking at each other like, all right, I'm going home in the morning, you're going home in the morning. You want to flip a coin? That's next best option. Can we get some rock, paper, scissors next time?
A lot of honor in a coin flip.
Can we draw straws, maybe? Something.
Yeah, something where it's not just complete chance, That's crazy to hear, though. What, you said 87, right? That was the year that you were standing out to?
Yeah, 87. And again, we were nationally, we're kind of nobodies, and we went and we posted 300 points on Friday. We beat the seeded team in our division. Was the PMI Piranhas, fully sponsored by PMI. So they were the swinging dicks. At the time, they were one of the big boys, and we went out and we fucking rolled them. We rolled everybody. We ended up advancing, and people are going like, who the fuck are these Ironman guys from California? Because, we weren't known on the national level. Yeah, we were one of the big boys in Northern California, but that's just Northern California.
Hadn't made it out yet.
Yeah, and that's really where we kind of made a name for ourselves. Then we did for the next couple years. We did okay, on the national level. We were dominating more and more here in California, but on the national level, and there was the RP Shear Lively series. So more promoters got involved running larger national tournaments, and we were doing okay. We would do okay nationally, but it was really, I give credit to Ed Pollock, the owner of Paintball Sam's. It was like the equivalent of the WCPPL, right? It was seven-man whizball tournaments, and he had teams from Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, all over California. They were big. They were big tournaments. Very much a large region. The entire West Coast would send teams.
Yeah, not exactly national, but a lot of different states are coming in to play these.
Very much like the WC, right? They get teams from all over.
Definitely.
It's a big tournament. It's not a local tournament. And we won 4 of those in a row, because you really have to learn to win. You have to learn to win as a team. And we won 4 in a row in 89, and we won all 3 in 90. Then he had teams when he would announce it. The field owner, Ed Pollock, he would get teams from out of state calling up, hey, are the Ironmen playing? Because if they're playing, we're not coming. Because they didn't feel like they could win. So he called us and said, hey, can you guys not play? And we said, we'll ref. We'll ref for you. So he advertised that we were refs. And
that's crazy.
That's really where we learned to win. And
A coward.
With the communication, that's where we took everything to the next level. You know, with communication, with teamwork and everything. And again, you have to learn to win. You can't just go out there, practice a lot, and go expect to win. You have to learn to win as a team. And
Yeah.
I think that's where we.
I mean, a really great, bringing that right to modern day, because that's what I'm trying to do this whole episode. And that's fit, baby. Fit, they came back up. The reason they won that tournament is because those guys have played on Sunday all last year. They know how hard it is when you have to play 4 extra games to go win an event. Whereas,
they know how to win.
Maybe a rookie pro team that hasn't done that as consistently, maybe they're not as ready for that moment. And of course, those are all kind of the hypotheticals that go around. But, I think it does say a lot that they're very poised and they were ready to, okay, we have this opportunity. We're going to take advantage of it. We know exactly what we need to do to go from here to a win. And you don't learn it overnight. You learn it by going out and doing it consistently and picking up the skills it takes to win.
Yeah,
Yep, absolutely.
and also one of the most painful moments of my paintball career, I'd say back in '91, we won the first 5 tournaments of the year, right? All national events. We went 5 in a row, never been done before. That included the World Cup. Then we went to the Masters. And we didn't fucking make the cut. And it hurt so fucking bad to be on the sidelines. Because at this point, 5 wins in a row, people expected us to win. They really did. And to be just standing on the sidelines as a spectator watching the finals happen and not be part of it, dude, that fucking hurt my soul. It fucking hurt bad to not make. And at that point, we made the finals. Every event we were in the finals up until '94. We did make the finals in Washington D.C. and it was shortly after that's when I walked away from there, and then. But
Wow.
Yeah.
Golden lineage.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
There's a lot that went back before any of us
That's
were
amazing.
here.
Yeah. And look, I give Brandon shit about him ruining my career.
Yeah, we know.
So having kids ruining your paintball career? Not really. Maybe.
Yeah, you weren't on the Iron Man when I came around.
Yes, I was. Wait, what year were you
Probably
born?
a good thing since you were young.
Wait,
95.
You're 95. Yeah, no, I wasn't.
You were on GBD.
Wasn't?
Right?
Yeah. No, I played for Glenn. I played 96 and 97. I was on GBD. I left the Ironman, and there was.
You know what that tells me? Okay, I'm sorry. I got to step in because the father and son are just going to go for a second.
Yeah.
That interaction there told me how much Brandon looks up to his father. His dad didn't even know what team he played on, but Brandon knew and was like proud and was like, yeah, no, that's what team you're on, Dad. I think that says a lot right now. I think that's the reason why Brando Baird has a marker in his hand.
There we go. But he used to sneak in the garage
still in his
and
fucking
play with all
hand.
my old equipment, too.
Yeah, I got yelled at.
Yeah, get out of there. One day I'll use it again when your mom lets me. So I left the Iron Man, and Rick Sendejas left the Iron Man first. Right? He saw the writing on the wall, and he left. And there was an upstart team. It was Mike Coraggio, one of the old Black Diamond players. Right? He was on the original Black Diamonds. Rick went to play for them. It was the San Jose Diamonds. And when I left the Ironman, I just showed up. They practiced up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. I showed up, said, hey, I left the Ironman. I want to play for you guys. They brought me on, and it was fucking chaos at first. We played one tournament. We took first place, and winning cures a lot. But who was on that team? A young amateur, Rich Telford, was on that team. Young amateur Billy Saransky was on that team. A young amateur Opie was on that team. It was Rick, me, and
He was named the heavy hitters of the 2000s era.
yeah, and they were still amateurs, and me, Rick, and Mike Carraggio were the pro players, because you can have 3 pro players on an amateur roster. So we were the pros. They were all amateurs. Yeah, man, I joke around about teaching Rich Telfer how to play paintball. I taught Rich how to play. Yeah, I mean, Rich was, it's funny. Rich tells a story about how when he was playing walk-on, he was really into it, and he was beating up on other walk-ons. Then a team went out, Black Sunday went out and said, hey, you want to come play on a team? He didn't know anything about it. He goes, yeah, sure. He goes, all right, we're playing a team next weekend. We have a practice set up next weekend. And he's, look, Rich is pretty confident in life, right? So he goes out there, and it's his new
I'd
team.
say so.
A little bit. It's his new team. It's Black Sunday. He's out there. All right, who are we playing? Oh, we're playing against the Iron Man. We have practice against Iron Man. He doesn't know who we are because Rich is still new into it. And Rich says he's never had his ass kicked so bad in his life, and he just sat back and, wow, that's what I want to do. That's, he thought he was good. Then they practiced against us, and that really opened up Rich's eyes to how good you could be as a team and as an individual. And I don't know, I've heard Rich tell that story a couple times. I think it's a great story. And so
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. With everyone has that person that they see do something better than them and say, "I'm gonna beat you," and eventually Rich overtook you. Eventually, someone else took over Rich. Eventually,
look,
Dynasty still around.
Retired,
but
so I retired. Then Rich got to fucking Rich had a decent little career. So.
And technically, the 16-year-olds from San Diego and Northern California kind of beat him up his whole career too. So I mean, you can, can always say there's some bigger fish in the sea. There's some bigger shark around.
Oh yeah, there's always somebody else, right around the corner. And that was one of the things that Bobby used to preach. Bobby would, it's harder to stay on top than it is to get on top. Because
facts.
To be on, to get there. A lot of people go, oh, we did it. Then they relax. Well, you can't. If you want to stay there, you have to grind. You have to push. We practice more than anybody else. We walk the fields more than anybody else. And it was kind of a running joke on the tournament circuit where the Ironmen, they're still walking the fields. Because we did our homework. We did our homework above and beyond what any other team was doing. And it paid off, though. It truly paid off. Now trust me when I say we had fun. When we brought Shaner, Shane Pistana, when we picked up Shaner, Bobby was after him for a whole year, calling him, come play for us, leave the Black Diamonds, come play for us. We had the money, we had the sponsorship, everything, and but we had a fucking lights out in your room rule at 10 p.m. You're back in your room at 10 p.m. Period. It was very regimented.
So now say lights.
Yeah, and Shane said, "Well, I'm not gonna. If I play, I travel. I want to go and have fun. I'm only gonna come play on the Ironman if you drop that rule." And Bobby dropped it. And goddamn, it was fucking game on, bro. It was at clubs, girls back in the hotels all the time. All the time. There was
all the time.
Up until I was married.
Well, and then different people started to show up to the hotels once that one teammate of yours joined the team. But we won't talk about that story because that's all alleged. I don't want to get a cease and desist like Gap Paintball. So shout out to Gap Paintball, though.
All that was offshore. All those shenanigans were offshore. So
good.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about that story? By the way, this is something I do need to bring up because this is important to me. Did you guys hear what happened with Gap Paintball at the World Cup event? Great American Paintball, the magazine that's being produced by Hormesis and those guys.
What happened now?
All right, when you guys read this magazine, you're going to shit your pants. Page 3 of the magazine is a black page with a wall of text in white. It is a ominous and almost dark-looking page. It is a letter from the editor. Mike Jeffries writes, he talks about some of the horrible things that have happened in our sport recently, namely Ken Bryson. And he also alleges things that happened, Ken Bryson was the Palm Beach Vipers coach, I believe. That was the team he was with. And he also talks about some of the allegations that have been made recently against Dave Youngblood of Die. Dave at the event got their Dave DeHaan, formerly Dave DeHaan, now Dave Youngblood of Die, they had their legal team write a cease and desist and require Gap Paintball to no longer sell that product at World Cup because those allegations were defaming to them.
Wow.
That says a lot to me. And I have to say a lot I talked to the editor-in-chief at Gap, Great American Paintball. I'm very proud of his stance of saying this is something people have known about for a long time. People have always been kind of talking about it in alleys and, in the hushes around events. But we're just going to start talking about it in the public now.
When there's court documents.
Exactly. And that was the proof he had to be like, now we can talk about this. And Dai's reaction says a lot to me. You don't get a cease and desist in 24 hours if you think it's, false allegations. That's all I'm going to say.
That's quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why the first day, Wednesday, practice day at the event, you could buy Gap Paintball at the Hormesis booth. At the rest of the event, you were no longer allowed to. They were shut down by Dai's legal team.
They could have given them away. They just couldn't sell them, right?
Probably, but also
imagine the money you're losing.
I see what you're saying there. Yeah, you're for a donation.
Yeah, donation.
Because you're donating, and then you just happen to be getting a magazine. You're not buying a magazine. You're donating for it. Yeah,
exactly. You're donating to help them recover their losses. Here, have a free magazine. Thank you. Thank you for your support.
You're smart, Papa Iron Man.
That's a good legal loophole.
Yeah. Well, when we started playing as the OG Iron Man, they came after us. Dai came after us a little bit, but then we proved that we own the name. We have the name trademarked. They don't. Dai lost their trademark on the name Iron Man decades ago. We trademarked the name. So they couldn't. And once they realized
he also originated the name.
Yeah. Once I realized they couldn't force us. Again, this was just to play woods ball, only to play mechanical, right? When they realized
separate logo, separate team name because you guys added the OG in there. Not trying to be Iron Man. I will say for you guys, it wasn't like you guys were like, "Hey, we're the Iron Man now." Yeah. No, it was like, "Hey, this is our team. This is what we were."
Going back to one of the old logos,
the skull logo.
The skull. And once they realized that they couldn't stop us, then they went, okay, well, here, let's sponsor you. We'll give you full sponsorship. And that way, because the Iron Man name is so tied in with Dai, they offered us a sponsorship. Except we don't have a mechanical gun. Go and stick with the CVO. And we went, no, we want no part of Dai.
I feel like, and I respect you for that. I feel like, maybe you don't have to go into it fully, but we do need to give some context for how Dai even got the name in the first place. Because people.
Because we've talked about it. Brandon knows.
I know. Yes.
How deep do you want me to go?
I was talking about for the audience. I don't know. Don't go into any crazy legal things, but I think there needs to be some context because yes, at one point in time, Iron Man was owned by the Baird family, and then it became owned by Dai, and I don't think a lot of people know the story of how that happened.
Yeah. So what had happened was so before they kicked Bobby off the team. And again, they didn't kick him off the team. They said, look, you're still welcome to be on the team. This is in 97. You're still welcome to be on the team, but you're no longer captain. You're no longer in charge. Dave was going to. Before any of that happened, Dave went behind everybody's back and trademarked the name a year earlier. And we know this is fact because the attorney that we hired, the trademark attorney we hired to trademark the name Ironman for us, had to do a search, and he found that literally in '96, Dave trademarked the name Ironman, and so he owned it. Didn't tell anybody. He just went behind everybody's back and trademarked the name Ironman, so he owned it. A year later, at the World Cup in '97, they have a meeting with John Gregory, the owner of JT, and Youngblood, because again, Youngblood worked for JT. He was a paintball rep for JT, and they had a meeting, and they brought everybody in except Bob and Phyllis, and some of the guys were already on board, and Dirk and Daryl were the last two that they tried to bring on. And they, kind of thought, all right, well, I'm still going to play with my buddies, my boys. We're still going to have the same team. It's just not going to be Bob running it. So he literally, Dave Dahan went behind everybody, Youngblood went behind everybody's back, trademarked the name Iron Man, had a meeting, convinced everybody that they were all being ripped off by Bob Long, and they kicked Bobby off the team. Literally stole the team from Bob. And they weren't being ripped off. All the money went back into the team. Bob wasn't pocketing anything. So that's how DIE, which stands for Dave Youngblood Enterprises, or Dave's Youth Experience. Did I say that?
Oh, dang.
I didn't say that out loud.
Damn.
Fuck.
I'm gonna do the Chinese thing where you go off the camera. And you,
Yeah, you can put a little stinger in my mouth in post-edit.
God damn.
Anyway, so yeah, he literally kind of went behind everybody's back, trademarked the name, and that's how DIE ended up with owning the name Iron Man. And but the trademark, he never renewed it. Renewed, is that the proper term? He never renewed it. So made it available for us. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. It was for the ICPL when the ICPL was first kicking off. We
4 years ago.
Yeah, we trademarked the name just to play in the ICPLs. But yeah,
smart.
Nice.
All right. There's a big
our,
drop of paintball history for you, audience members.
Yeah, we're not going to force him
And Mike's
to quit.
right. I've known about that for months, but it's one of those things that I can't say. So I'm glad he said it.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
For a long time I wouldn't talk about it. Wouldn't talk about it publicly, but there's so much dirt out now. Whatever.
Whatever. I like that attitude.
Conclusion out there.
Those of us
I'm not telling you what happened, but
yeah. But
it's one of those type of things. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Is it's up to the audience to decide for themselves.
And facts are facts. Anybody can do the research themselves. Anybody can hire an attorney and do the research.
Hell,
themselves.
I'll send you the case number if you're really interested. I've got it. It's we can. I'll show you the rabbit hole. Just you got to choose to take the red or blue pill and go down it.
Right.
All right, let's start to transition out of this a little bit. I do want to give Hatch an opportunity to kind of ask you a question. I don't know if he's been sitting on one tonight, and then same with Brandon as well. I always like to give him a moment to jump in, as I usually kind of steer things a bit at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm glad you put on the accurate Papa Hatch cosplay right there.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. So
yes, my son.
All right. I've always wondered what is when you said it got so crazy, right? What is an experience that you're willing to share with us that was so wild back in the day?
Oh man,
I got some fucking stories that I'm not.
Brandon,
I wasn't.
take your headphones
Yeah.
off.
I was going to
Preferably one that Brando does not know.
Preferably.
See, that's the thing. Brandon knows so much, and then I've told him all kinds of stories about people, and then he ends up meeting the people and going like, "Oh my God,"
I know way too much about you, buddy.
Yeah. Wow. There's one that. I'm not sharing that. I will Hatch. I've got a great fucking story that I will tell you in person. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
One
I'm
that
looking forward to it.
That I will not. God damn, there's so much.
What?
Okay, all right, wait. Tournament down in San Diego, right? Some of the guys,
All right.
some of the guys decided, hey, let's go into Mexico and jump the fucking wall to get back into the United
Oh no,
States.
that never turns out well. All right.
Yeah, and again,
Doable. It's easy enough.
not really.
Pre 9/11, I guess we could say that. Pre 9/11, all this dude.
Yeah, dude, they had a fucking guard dog chase them. They had a guy pull a fucking whatever, full auto machine gun on them. Where they were crawling through a hole in the wall down in Tijuana. Some locals from Tijuana got in a knife fight because one was, a bunch of Americans down there. What are you doing? Get out of here! And what? Oh, they're trying to help us. No, they're not. They're going to give us a fucking big knife fight. A big fucking brawl happens. Yeah, that was a crazy
Damn.
night. Oh, in England. Here we
Yes.
go.
Yes. I was gonna prompt this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we go to this club in England. The hotel we're staying at is like this little college town, right along the English Channel.
Oxfordshire upon North,
Yeah,
or something dumb like that,
this is,
because that's what English towns are called.
94, right? So we're in England for the Mayhem Masters, and we go to this club. I mean, they fucking treat us like gods there, They fucking totally, the paintball world there really took care of us. So we go to this club. It's us and Aftershock. We go to this club. Now, the one thing about the Brits, the guys, they're out drinking and chumming up with their boys. They all have girls with them. They fucking totally ignore the girls. What do American guys do at a club? They're not there to hang out and drink with their boys. They're there to fucking pick up girls.
To fuck.
Yep.
You Freudian slipped there.
So literally, by the end of the night, it was us and Aftershock hanging out, and there was probably fucking 100 girls hanging out with us. Because
Hell
all,
yeah.
all the fucking guys are drinking, and they're, bumping fucking tea bags against each other and having a good old time.
Over there singing like shanties and shit, which does sound awesome. Can I be
does
honest?
sound awesome.
I definitely want to find my way into an Irish pub in Dublin and just hear like four dudes be like, "Oh, Tilly, oh,
Yeah,
well,
and they're doing that.
I would jump right in. It'd be
They're
amazing.
but they're doing that, but they all have girls with them, and they're ignoring the girls. So there was so many fucking girls hanging out with us. It was fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so afterwards there
The
was
ratio was off the chain.
this
Nice.
place.
It was lit, no cap.
There was this place for food right around the corner, big line. So we go and we're eating these fucking pitas, right? And it's just a mob of fucking people outside of this club on like a Saturday night at 2 a.m. And it's this huge mob. And we're saying, Brian Benini and I were sitting there, we're talking, and we're talking to this bartender. She was hanging out with us. And I got this fucking British guy running his fucking mouth behind me, talking shit about soccer. And that was 94, the World Cup of soccer.
Boy, hey, it's fucking football, innit? Alright,
yeah.
I don't want to hear no shit about the Queen's game.
Football,
alright?
innit?
Football.
So he's drunk. This fucking skinny fucking pasty ass Brit is drunk. and
Boy, bruv, what you know about the Queen?
and he's standing behind me talking shit because the World Cup was in California that year in '94. It's where the World Cup tournament for soccer.
Last time it was in America. It's coming back.
Yeah,
It's coming home. Fuck you, England.
and England did not qualify for the World Cup. And the dude's fucking running his mouth talking shit. Oh, if we made it, we would ruin your old bloody country. We would fuck you up. We blah. Run his
If
mouth.
Tim Croxakin was able to get his knee repaired, we would have been there. And yeah,
And so
I hate
For a
those people.
pounding, ain't you?
there's a reason we left in 1776.
I keep turning around, saying, dude, you didn't qualify. Shut the fuck up. You know, it's soccer. It's a great little game for little girls and kids. So I'm talking shit about it, and I turn my back to him. I'm trying to goat this guy into a fight, right? And he's fucking running his mouth, blah, 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 bloody Americans, bloody this, bloody that. And I turn around, dude, you're talking about soccer. Nobody fucking cares about that. It's a fucking game for little kids. Shut the fuck up. You guys suck. You didn't even qualify. Shut your fucking mouth. And I turn my back because I'm trying to get this guy to throw a punch. I turn my back to him. He goes, I'm bloody. We hate fucking bloody fucking Americans. Brian Bonini goes, here, hold this. Hands me his food. Grabs the guy. Fucking throws him on the barrel. Starts beating the fuck out of the guy.
Shit.
I'm going, fucking Brian, this is my fight. This is my fight. So, fucking a brawl fucking breaks out. Nobody knows why people are fighting. They're just drunk and everybody's fucking just jumping and throwing fucking punches. They end up dragging the guy that was mouthing off, like these three guys, grab him by his fucking leg, drag him out in the middle of the road, and they're fucking stomping on him. Now, it's not Americans doing it, it's other British guys. Just fucking curb stomping this guy in the middle of the road. They didn't know that.
That's how you know you fucked up.
So this guy fucking squares up in your typical Taekwondo stance, and he's ready to fight. And Spud Jackson from Aftershock, he was a fucking man's man. You know, absolutely. But he grabs this guy by the fucking forearm and just squeezes and said, if you don't back down, I'm going to break your fucking arm. I'll break it right off. And then the
I can tell how serious this is.
The fear in this kid's fucking face. But why are they fighting? You know, yeah, it was... And we fucking walked away laughing because
6'2" American just like grabbed his wrist and he's like, "I'm sorry, sir, my bad."
But there was probably 30 guys in a fight, all of them British, beating the fuck out of each other. We walked away laughing. They're like fucking idiots, you know. Brian was really the only one that fucking threw punches, and Brian started it. But I'm going like, dude, that's my fight. What the fuck, bro? This is my fight.
I wanted to knock that dude out.
I was trying to pick a fight with a guy, and Brian fucking jumps him, throws him down, and starts beating on him.
God, dude, the world was so different. God, you could actually get into a fight in an international company and still make it home. You wouldn't be arrested and detained and then exported out of that country for the rest of your life. No, that wouldn't happen because there'd be no footage of it.
Okay, all right,
Two men could get into a fight, get it done, and be okay.
That same night, when we left to go back to the hotel, Daryl was driving.
Oh,
I love Daryl Trent. I love Daryl Trent.
I didn't know you were going to get into the story. Okay.
Daryl flips. Now, it's all fucking backwards, right? Because they drive on the wrong side of the road. Fuck them. We invented cars. We invented the car. We drive on the correct side. So Daryl does a U-turn, but he does it backwards. And he ends up getting in a head-on accident with the fucking a bouncer from the club we were just at.
Oh,
what?
God.
The bouncer's driving?
Yeah, the bouncer's on his way home.
He's fleeing too.
Yeah, Daryl flips the U-turn and fucking gets in a head-on with this guy. Totals the fucking minivan or rental. Gets arrested. Goes to fucking jail. We're in England. So Bobby gets a call. It's whatever 3 a.m. Bobby gets up and he goes to Jerry Braun, the owner of Paintball New York, goes to Jerry's room. Jerry's an attorney, right? Big fucking New York, well-known attorney.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's my favorite thing with paintball. It's like the random people who play it. It's like at any one point in time, you could have a surgeon, a dentist, and a lawyer on the field, but it's like we all just love this game, man.
Or a plumber if you plug the toilet.
Yeah. Like
Daryl used to be a plumber.
Exactly. There you go. Everything covered.
Trent used to be a plumber, so that's accidentally a good call. So Bobby goes and wakes up Jerry Braun and said, "Hey, Jerry, Daryl's been arrested. I need your help." So Bobby, our paint sponsor, since we couldn't shoot Bullseye paint, they just gave us whatever $5,000 to go here, pay for your paint. So Bobby takes all the paint money, the cash we had to pay for paint. Him and Jerry Braun go down to the jail, and Jerry walks in his fucking 3-piece suit. It's fucking 4 in the morning. He walks in a 3-piece suit, carrying a fucking attaché, whatever. A briefcase. Walks in, opens it up. There, it shows him his New York bar card, and talks to the commanding officer at the time, and they fucking release Daryl. Just okay.
Okay.
Bobby pays a fine for an illegal U-turn or whatever, and he gets released.
Nothing about the accident or the rental? Nothing?
Nope. It's just fucking
Rental was insured.
It all goes away.
Fuck it.
Well,
That must be where the saying came from. It's just a rental.
but
Old school, yes. No, sorry. Old school paintball teams did fuck with rentals, bro.
oh my God,
still
damn
do.
it. It's crazy any of them made it
shit
back.
that I saw out of guys. I was arrested in Nashville. We were there for the Music City Open. I called in sick for work.
Aren't you proud of him, Brandon?
Yeah.
I was never booked. Right?
That counts, actually.
Yeah, so I call in sick for work. I never fucking call in sick. The company I was working for in the Bay Area, the owner sent the girls that worked in the office, hey, he's not answering his phone. Go to his house on your lunch hour and check on him. But the girls in the office knew that I was calling in because it was the last minute we decided to go to the Music City Open. And so we're there after the day play. After Friday, we have 2 minivans. All the equipment goes in one. Most of the guys go in the other, and it's like a mile drive from the location to the hotel. And we're driving through this big state park. I think it was Heritage Landing, whatever. We're driving through this state park, and Daryl's standing up. He's got the sliding door of the van open, and he's standing up on it reading something. And we drive by, and there's a cop there. And the cop goes and pulls us over. Well, my license was suspended. But when he ran it, it only came back as expired. It got suspended for whatever, speed over 100 miles an hour, I think. So it got suspended, but while it was suspended, I had a birthday.
Yeah, Michael Baird's a badass.
I had a birthday, and so it expired also. And I just hadn't gotten around to taking care of it. And so I didn't have a license.
Still driving, though, you know.
Still driving, whatever. So I didn't have a license. So in Nashville, they arrested me for driving on an expired license. Fucking arrested.
That's ass.
In the back of the fucking patrol car. What worked in my favor, it was Friday, it was rush hour. It took us a fucking hour to go from there to downtown Nashville. And goddamn it, if I didn't become friends with that cop on that drive, I fucking chatted my ass off. We were talking. We get to the police station. It takes us an hour and stop and go traffic on the freeway. It takes us an hour. We pull up at the police department, and we get out. He says, "All right." He goes, "You know, it's not fair you spend the weekend in jail for this." He goes, "If I write you a ticket, you're going to pay it, right?" I go, "Absolutely." He goes, "If you don't pay it, I'll come out to California and I'll extradite you myself." I go, "I'll pay it." Dude, it was like $73 was the ticket he wrote me. I made Daryl pay for half of it. I made Daryl pay for half of it because it was his fault. But so the guys in the van,
It's a good move.
they dropped off crew. He played one tournament with us. Chris, I can't think of his name. Anyway, they drop him off. He goes running in to Bob's room. You know, Mike got arrested, blah, blah, blah. So they got ready, and they went down. In the meantime, the other van's following us in traffic all the way to the police department. So I have a ride back. The guy writes me a ticket, lets me go. Because, again, the gift of gab. So I get out of being arrested. Mm-hmm. He lets me go, writes me a ticket. I go back, get back to the hotel, and fucking Bob and Phyllis are gone. They're sitting in fucking night court waiting on my arraignment. This is like pre-cell phone. There's no way to
I
call
was
him.
gonna say this is a Seinfeld like story. This is a story that could only happen pre 95. You know what I mean? Because any episode of Seinfeld could be solved within literally just a cell phone. Their writing sucks if you look back at them now. But that's what I love about this is like the moments of the one van followed me, the other one went to get help, but they couldn't talk to each other at all. Like
No, so
it creates so much beautiful chaos.
We get back. I get back to the hotel. I fucking take a shower. We're getting ready to go, and Bob and Phyllis finally come back. They were there waiting to fucking bail me out of jail. They sat in fucking night court for like 3 hours, waiting for me to bail me out. I thought,
Good friends.
yeah, right. I thought I was gonna have to spend the whole fucking weekend in jail, see the judge on Monday, and I'm gonna get fucking fired because I called in sick and fucking flew to Nashville, and now who knows when I'm coming back. I'm thinking like I'm gonna be fired. Yeah, I made fucking Daryl pay half that ticket.
I would too.
Yeah.
Brando, would you bail me out?
I would absolutely bail you out.
All right, that's my
Hey,
boy.
Hatch,
I'd definitely bail you out.
Hatch, hey, look, honestly, you're a good friend of Brandon, and I'll tell you why.
Yep.
Brother. I'll tell you why you're a better friend to him than I am to my friends. Because I'm a fucking.
Okay.
The worst thing I've done some bad things. But one of the worst things I've done, playing for GBD after I left the Ironman, played that one tournament with the San Jose Diamonds. The money backing the team broke up. I called Fred Schultz and said, "Hey, there's 4 of us. We want to come play for Constant Pursuit." He said, "I only need 2 guys." I said, "Look, it's me, Rick Sendejas, Rich Telfort, and brain fart." Anyway, I said it's all 4 of us and none of us is okay. So we got picked up by Constant Pursuit. We played the 95 season on CP. Left after that. Glenn Forrester called me and called Rick and picked us up on GBD. So I forgot the story I was telling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, that's my
Look
dad
at the
right there.
scroll.
That's
Look
my
at the
dad right
scroll.
there.
Thank you, son. Thank you.
My dad.
So I'm playing for GBD. Rick says, "Hey, look, I'm getting married. I want you to be the best man." But the problem is, it's on this date. And it was the same date as like Chicago tournament. And I go,
Oh,
dude,
fuck me.
I go, dude, we both can't miss the tournament. And Rick goes, I understand. He asked, one of my best friends to this day asked me to be the best man, and I chose paintball. I chose a fucking tournament over being his best man. I'm a dick. You wanted to skip the tournament to be at Brandon's wedding. You're a better friend
I
than
sure
I am.
as hell did.
You did.
I sure as hell did.
And you were on that mountaintop.
He was the lone survivor.
You were dying on that hill, and you went with the team because that's what the team chose. But you were willing to skip the tournament. I, not as good of a friend as you are, was asked to be the best man at Ricky's wedding, and my response was, "Dude, we both can't miss the tournament." Dick move on my part.
That is a valid response. That is a valid response, honestly.
It is a valid response.
Yeah, but
Both of you?
Also, I mean, or maybe here's the other thing, the other side of that coin. Maybe just don't fucking plan your wedding on a fucking paintball tournament. Maybe you could do that, Brandon.
Tell you what, maybe just don't get married. Maybe just don't get married.
Hey,
Easy solution.
Well,
I
I can't fully agree with you there.
Yeah, you calm down, you guys.
I gotta back up on that one, but the planning
Not
of
my
the
thing.
date we could get better on.
yeah,
Not
planning.
my thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mike, I love it. I appreciate it. I'm taking over the pod though, because we got to talk about World Cup a little bit.
amazing.
There was so much stuff that happened out there. Feel free to pipe in. I know you were out there as well, so you probably had some stories and stuff that popped up as well. But guys, we got to talk about it. Paintball Fit won World Cup. Hatch, you called it. I got to give you your flowers, buddy. You did it. You called it. You did it live on the podcast. People picked it up on the live show that they saw on YouTube. So congratulations, man. Guys, that is my favorite ending to a World Cup that I've been to, period.
Without a doubt.
That is one of the loudest crowds I've ever heard at a World Cup. One of the... I go back, that reel I made of them winning that final, 30 seconds and then into them celebrating, it just
So
gives me
emotional,
goosebumps.
so beautiful, honestly.
It's just... pure raw emotions that I haven't seen. Dynasty doesn't celebrate like that. You know what I mean? They're professionals. They win tournaments. They're used to it. Impact. They've done it before. They've been there. They're cool. Damage. Same thing. But when Fit won, oh my God, being there in that moment, that's one of those moments that, like, for me, that'll go down, of that energy and feeling everyone in that crowd of they wanted that team to win and they were able to pull it off in such a fantastic and improbable way, winning 2 points in under a minute and a half. Like,
that was crazy.
Just everything about it was just beautiful. And yeah, Cyrus winning the MVP
Golden
on
Barrel.
top of it is just definitely
Deserved.
the kind
well
of
deserved. He
chef's
played
kiss.
lights out all weekend.
From going to being called not a real pro about 9 months ago to winning the pro MVP, overall event MVP, and
Man,
finals MVP.
Anybody who said that feels so fucking stupid.
There you go, Cyrus. Go talk your shit. And that's what I love about Cyrus too, because he doesn't talk. Like, he's not talk your shit type
Very
guy,
humble man.
but he let his play do the talk for him this weekend, and it definitely showed. One of the other funny things about that final that I'll bring up real quick too, in the overtime point, I wonder how many people know this, and it's been talked about in podcasts, and maybe they know it now. Scott Stewart instantly core sampled and fucked up his gun off the rip.
Yep.
Scott Stewart also is a dumbass who didn't carry a squeegee with him for the overtime point of World Cup
That's
Finals.
crazy.
And what didn't have one on him. So his gun was down the whole point. He couldn't get it back up and running. There is a funny moment in the reel that I'm going to post on Monday, which is of him barrel sampling, where he looks at Cyrus and says, "Cyrus, I need your squeegee." And as he's saying it, Cyrus leaves his bunker and runs downfield. And he's just kind of like, shit, man. And then he just goes to like start head checking. He's like, I can't do anything else. Like, but yeah, so there's so many beautiful little kind of story piece moments like that. If we're talking about the gambling side, obviously you guys know me. I've talked about it all year. I picked Fit against all the odds. I rode them the whole way Sunday. I was 9 for 9 on all my picks on Sunday. I went 40 for 46 out of all my betting picks made for the whole entire weekend. I profited about $2,100 myself. This event, Fit themselves profited me about 700 of that. So yeah, Fit's the boys. They made me money. I got to see them win in person. I got to see all of them again. It was, overall is
Absolutely.
best way I could choose for the weekend to go.
When Fit was playing that game against Damage, right, Sunday morning, I'm in there because we're me and Chim are watching the games, and sure as shit, Fit starts to win, and I'm like, dude, holy fuck! I'm like, let's go, Colt, make me my fucking money, right? And dude, because I knew that they were gonna win just by the demeanor and the whole energy they had. Okay, so this is relevant what I'm about to say. So I brought my girlfriend for the very first time, right, to an event, right? I never do that shit, and it was very interesting seeing her do that. But I got her to see in the grandstands for the World Cup Finals for PB Fit versus Impact, and she was telling me, she's like, the energy, and she's never seen this, never seen paintball at this level, right? And she's like, I could tell PB Fit was gonna win. They have that family aspect that it just seemed like Impact just didn't have that level of like heart in it. It felt like, there was just such an energy ratio.
I'll say it like this. There was 2 moments for me on Sunday where the first one I was like, oh shit, this is serious. And the second one I knew it was going to happen. When Colt beat Malloy in a one-on-one, that was my like, okay, pay the fuck attention. PB Fit might win this event. Because let's be real, Malloy doesn't lose one-on-ones. He's the goddamn Russian machine, bro. He's a little killer Terminator, goes out there and crushes your paintball dreams.
Yeah.
So to see Colt stomp him down, that was like,
and it wasn't
okay,
even like a one-on-one where he outplayed Malloy, because Malloy is, like where Colt's in a stand-up and Malloy's in the snake kind of thing. It was like a gunfight.
Yeah.
And
it was like a gunfight.
It wasn't coast to coast either.
No, it was.
He just
relatively
Colt
close.
Straight up beat Malloy in a gunfight, and that doesn't happen. Like, there's a handful of times that's probably happened this season. It just happened at the worst time for Malloy. And the other moment that I was like, oh, this is gonna happen, is after they scored that second point, dude. After you put up 2 in a minute, you're not losing that overtime.
The momentum is just
there. I think
there.
the problem is even Impact's feeling that. I guarantee you, not JC, but I guarantee you, there's probably one dude on that line going out there like, Are we about to fucking blow a 2-point lead? And the second you're thinking about that, it's already over.
Yep.
Yep,
So-
it's done.
And to be fair, dude, JC, dude, there were a lot of times where I am no professional. I am not. I am just a guy that fucking plays paintball, right? Let me just say. So there's just some critique that I'm saying that I was watching because I was right there in front of the finals.
We were in the pits. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't say that you did, but
Everyone here knows your guys'
Yeah, we're
impact.
the
Your
bits.
Impact's pit crew.
I'm just not trying
It's
to say
like a
that.
well-known thing.
I'm just not trying to say that.
You would be if they won, though.
No, well, let me just say.
Get to your point, Hatch.
Well, now I fucking forgot. Now I fucking
God
forgot.
damn it. God damn
JC,
it, Hatch.
JC.
Oh,
JC
yes.
in the pits
Okay.
Sunday.
Genuinely, I think there were a lot of points where he could have stayed alive in the position that he was. And he just kind of got like dinked out of that like really crucial snake spot.
I kind of disagree. I was on the field watching those angles a couple of times. It wasn't necessarily him being sloppy. It was Fit getting him out of that spot.
No, what I'm saying is
it was Xavi getting pressure up the D side to get him tucked in, and then Cyrus on that turret down the wire, finally just like making him make a bad decision.
yes, and what I mean by that is they were so accurate that it's like every time he was even head checking, he was getting shot.
And
That's what
let's be
I
real
mean.
too. The other thing that fucked JC up was Cyrus, and shout out to Paintball Fate's coach. I mean, they threw kind of the wild card in the finals or in that overtime point. They really weren't sending him just up the middle off the break very often, because really those guys were usually getting chopped up. There was a pretty good lane where you can kind of watch guys going up there and then either make a decision to put paint on them or just let your team know, and now that trap's irrelevant. Cyrus kind of took a weird route to get up there and got up there. JC had no clue he was posted on him.
Yeah.
And he was just waiting for him. I think I was listening to PGG earlier today. I think Cyrus said he literally stood there for like 2.5 minutes just waiting for him to pop up because he knew it would happen. He knew, they don't know I'm in. They're not calling anything. So yeah, no. So many beautiful moments in that, even in that finals game, in that Sunday match, in just the weekend as a whole from watching Paintball Fit play. I mean, dude, I haven't been this happy about an ending since my first one watching DMG win their pro spot. So yeah, from that side of the event, absolutely beautiful. Couldn't be happier.
Fantastic. What a great.
There are okay.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, you did call it, Ash. What I was going to bring up next is there are two things that stand out in my mind, though, that are particularly sad from this event. The first one that's quite obvious. NYX is, they're no longer a pro team. New York Extreme is, no longer a pro organization. That Jerry Carl jersey you got back there is now limited edition merch. There's not going to be any more of them made, at least for that team. I could see Jerry playing on other teams.
Starting price,
but,
OBO.
But yeah, so that obviously that's kind of that's sad to hear. The guys PK, so the CJ Cancers. There's a lot of really good players on that team. Josh Taylor, hopefully they're able to find a new home next year and keep playing. Thomas Taylor as well.
That one hurt me for sure. Seeing that.
The other one, and it is kind of a similar note. It is a retirement from the sport. But I cried when I saw this one. So. I think it was Thursday of the event. I started to hear a little rumor from one of my favorite people in media, Enrique Gonzalez, one of the GOATs. I started to hear a little rumor from him that his brother is not going to be playing next year. And at first, I kind of was like, what, Ivan G? No, he's going to be playing paintball. This dude fucking, he flew every weekend out to Sacramento for like 3 years of his life. Like, he loves this shit. He's going to do it. Sunday after World Cup playoffs, or after the finals, I walk out of the media pits. I just dressed down. I got my camera all broken down. Standing right there is Ivan Gonzalez. His girlfriend was also standing there. And he looks at me, and all he says was, "I just took my last picture on the pro field, bro." And he's got these fat tears in his eyes. And man, that fucking sucked. And even thinking about it now, it brings tears to my eyes because that man loves this game. He's one of my favorite people in this game. When I did the Rebirth documentary, I grew, very close to Ivan and his brother. They're both really, awesome people. And to see, his whole dream always was to play pro. And he finally, that chance finally comes back up again with leverage. He's able to kind of earn that spot. But for, his own life reasons, he's got to go a different way now. And that opportunity's taken away from him again. Yeah, dude, it broke my heart to watch. You know, I wish the absolute best for Ivan moving forward. Told him I loved him, you know, told him all that shit. But yeah, dog, fucking that's life, you know. People walk away from paintball and it
I
sucks,
completely
bro.
understand, because you know, I look at it. There were times where I was sitting in like just the parking lot of World Cup, and I'm looking around and I'm like, dude, at one point I am never gonna see any of this, right? And like, when is that gonna be?
And you may see some of the people, but you're not going to see all the people.
Absolutely not. Like, there's gonna be a time in my life where it's like, I mean, obviously this is getting like way too in
Look,
depth.
Tom calls forever, you know? Where Tommy's
Yeah,
always going to be there.
Tom Cole forever.
But
Tommy.
Right, but it's gonna be a point where it's like, I'm gonna look at the game and either I'm not gonna be there, or the people that I knew are no longer gonna be there. Right? And there are so many people in the game that are just unreplaceable. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the 40 medias, like the fucking Arcadis for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys are irreplaceable for me. So even thinking about, and Ivan is one of those people for me where it's like I would see him every event, every single event, and now it's gonna be like one of those people where if I don't see him, it's just going to be one of those like voids, I guess, in a way, if that makes sense.
yeah.
You know, without a doubt. And definitely does get me in my feels for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
man. No,
I
I mean,
will-
so that was, yeah.
I will say,
Go, Mike, go.
walking away from it, the last tournament I played, again playing pro with GBD, the first tournament of '98 was Vegas, and I knew I was quitting. I knew that was my last tournament. Nobody else knew it. I hadn't told the team, hadn't told anybody. But you know, the ultimatum came down from my wife, and it was either my family or paintball. You know, traveling for playing pro, and so walking the fields on Saturday night, you know, prepping for Sunday morning for the semifinals. We're out there walking, and there's 10 teams walking the field. And I remember standing up on this berm, just kind of taking it all in, thinking like, this is the last time I'm going to do this. You know, and it really fucking sunk in, because it was such a big part of my life for, you know, since I was 18, since, you know, 84 when I started to play. And here it's, you know, I'm ending my pro career at the beginning of '98, you know, and just standing there watching everybody, just kind of taking it all in, knowing that this is the last time I'm going to do this. You know, it really hits. Then fucking Glenn Forster yelled at me, "What the fuck, yeah, Mike, get over here!" Because I was ignoring what the team was doing and just kind of taking it all in. He yelled at me, and so, you know, but yeah, I understand what both of you guys are saying, because when you're facing, well, this is the last time. I've been doing this for years, and this is the last time I'm gonna, you know, be at a World Cup, be at a tournament, walk a field before a game. You know, it really hits hard.
It makes me emotional because I can't even imagine my life without paintball.
Yeah.
I literally could not even imagine it.
Well, you
One
know
day it's
what?
going to be gone.
You'll have
Exactly. One day it's going to be gone.
You'll have a son and grandkids that play, and you can live vicariously through them, which is exactly what the fuck I'm doing. You know,
Yeah,
or,
no,
or-
exactly.
or
I mean-
you'll have a daughter-in-law that plays pro. Not a son, but you have a
Way too
daughter-in-law that
difficult on her.
plays.
Yeah,
That'd be
you
way
gotta,
too difficult on her.
you gotta throw that one in my face. God damn it!
You gotta know that.
God damn.
Hey,
Oh, I just put that
she's
together.
learned the
Oh,
Baird
I got
game.
that now.
That's all that counts.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true. We
she's
got
the
that
one carrying
Sanchez
the
off there.
family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Valid. Fuck, man.
God damn it. But yeah, so that was my kind of, I don't know, that one I had some emotions, I had some feelings from that. I wanted to share it on the pod, and also, yeah, you know, as corny as it sounds, give a shout out to Ivan. I hope he's got success moving forward. He's a great dude, works really hard, and you know, he's a man who deserves it.
Absolutely.
And,
Ivan had a huge part for me in my growth as a player, without a doubt.
And you know, we're always gonna be here, bro. You know, if we're ever at a tournament in your area, stop on by. All of us, you know, whoever's there is gonna still be there, and they're gonna welcome you back into the family.
As they
Absolutely.
say, you he's not walking away necessarily. He's taking a long break.
A hiatus.
Yeah.
Hiatus.
Guess that's
Yeah, I
what,
did. 17
what
years.
Machine Gun Mike did.
Yeah, 17
Yeah,
years
yeah,
off.
technically. That's what I was going to say. So another big thing I wanted to bring up from World Cup, a big event that happened there. Hatch and Brandon, you guys fucking missed out. And I even tried to get you guys the inside sneak peek, and I couldn't. So Friday night we went to the Hormesis booth, the Oasis, to watch All That Matters, which was Miko Hootenton. Definitely not that one. No, but it was Miko's baby. So last year, him and Alex worked together, formed Hormesis Productions, and they spent all last year filming and creating this documentary. It's very much inspired by old school Warren Miller style ski movies. So if you ever seen any of those, you'll kind of understand what's going on. There's like these mini vignettes of different stories of players of there's one about the Edwards brothers and kind of their family relationship in paintball. There's one about Bart and his sons. There's some stuff about Team Dynasty and their history. There's all these kind of mini different little stories that are added in and included in. And then there's also some of the most beautiful footage of paintball I've ever seen. There's some Cronus 1,000 frames per second, or not Cronus, Phantom footage in there that's super incredibly slow-mo that looks crazy awesome. Just beautiful red footage of the whole field of we had 3 different angles of each point that was going down, so you see the whole thing happening. There's a one that stands out in my mind. There was a point where Alex Frazier's running down a guy at the center 50, and Miko his camera's behind him, so you see Alex running down the wire going to get the guy, and then right as he comes around the 50, it zooms into his barrel cam, so you see him like right there blasting the guy away.
Oh, nice.
Really well edited. That's kind of that's the through line of all of it. Really well, beautifully put together. Amazing music choices. There was a couple different choices from Metallica in there. There was a Pixies song in there, Where Is My Mind? That was just is like a beautiful section he used to kind of switch things up. Dan Napoli, of course, did the music supervision, so he was the guy who got all those music licenses for the movie. But All That Matters, it's beautiful. Whenever it is available to be watched, streamed, seen, if it's a couple dollars, spend the dollars, watch it. It's a beautiful piece for paintball. One of the highest, kind of quality looks into our sport that we've seen in a long time. And so to be able to say my name is in the credits is a really cool, thing, because it's very well done. Real quick before you guys jump in, the other thing that happened that night, and this was the one that I was trying to get for Hatch and Brandon, so you could have context right now. Dan Napoli showed up and showed us a 12-minute preview of Iron Kids.
Oh, cool.
Iron Kids is about to blow people's mind out of the fucking water, dude. Holy shit, it looks so unbelievably good. From the amazing interviews with so many different people that were there involved with those stories during the time, to the archival footage that was found, the amount of cool clips and moments we were able to see of Frazier as an 18-year-old, Greenspan as a young kid, the random stuff that they were doing with Crandall trying to organize them and keep them from getting arrested themselves. There's so much cool stories that are going to come out through this that I don't think people are ready for or even know about. Iron Kids is gonna blow people away when they finally see it. Dan has been working on it for over a year and a half now in the edit, getting all these beautiful things together. I'm so excited, and that's what I was saying. I texted Dan. I said, "Hey, is there any way Hatch and Brandon could see it? They had to play early in the morning. They weren't able to make the showing." And he said, "Nope, one night only."
Wow.
And I was like, "All right, I tried. They missed out."
Could respect it, Dan. We get it, but
I respect it. I respect it.
Does they give out a release date for that?
For Iron Kids, he mentioned something about the first event next year, so that Tampa Bay event. Maybe there will be some type of premiere or something like that there. For like a wide release, no, that is still not known of when it may be on Amazon or something like that for people to check out.
And one thing I learned from Elden Ring is you can't rush art. So I get it.
Nope. And I think
I want it to be. I'll wait forever.
People have been, they've been constantly asking where's Iron Kids? Where's Iron Kids? when you see it, you'll understand. You'll understand why it took the time it did, because it is, it looks like your Netflix top of the level, absolutely amazing documentary, but it's done by Dan. And you know, he had some help filming it and getting all the stuff together, but a lot of it has been him in a, you know, office just looking at a screen, putting it all together beautifully.
Wow,
That's amazing to hear.
That is it. That's exciting.
Cool.
And that's the first time I heard that they showed that.
I need it.
It wasn't announced. It was like, you know, if you're there for All That Matters, you get kind of like a cool 12-minute, like, you know, preview is like the
very exclusive.
You know, another special shout out with Hormesis. That fucking pizza, bro. That fucking pizza.
Dude, you had a monkey with a gun
awesome,
make
bro.
you a pizza, bro. How does that
Holy
feel?
shit,
Patrick
man.
Spore.
That shit was good as hell. You know,
I
if
bet
they
so.
come to every event, I don't mind. Don't mind at all.
Well, they are a platinum sponsor, so they're usually at every NXL event.
I want the pizza specifically.
Oh, okay. Just the
That
pizza.
shit
I
was
got you.
good. As an Italian, that was good.
So that's kind of, I don't know, that's World Cup in my rearview mirror. There's probably more things that will come up over the time, and we are talking with some of the, you know, as you guys know, we were the first podcast to bring the fit guys on, and now they're getting famous on all these other shows. But I talked to them right after in person. They're gonna come on.
I sent Colt my
I've talked
energy.
with Scott.
I sent Colt my energy that Wednesday. I was like, yo, Colt, I know, bro. I feel it. And I was like, and he said, and you received my energy. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. To finish my point, it is weird. To finish my fucking point, you goddamn assholes. No, you're fine. But I just gonna say, yes, we'll have Colt on for the fun from the sidelines version, not the clean, safe for work version that you get with play the game and spick and span. It's always a fun time over here. But yeah, so that was most of that stuff. Guys, one last outside of paintball topic I want to talk about, because it happens tomorrow night, and it'll already be done by the time this is out in public, so we got to talk about it tonight. Are you guys at all looking forward to Mike Tyson getting back in the ring tomorrow night? That's crazy.
Absolutely.
I actually have a theory. I wonder if he'll punch his fucking head off. You know?
No.
Obviously not really,
but 60-year-old man is not going to punch his head off.
Whoa,
He's
dude,
58.
Mike Tyson, dude.
You don't want to take a punch from Tyson. Yeah, he's not who he used to be, but still. You know?
But that's my thing going into this fight.
It's 2-minute rounds, which there's never 2-minute rounds except amateur. But it's 2-minute rounds, not 3-minute, because Tyson can't go out there and throw punches for 3 minutes. He can't.
No, he would literally, he would fall over halfway through the fight.
He'd be gassed after the fucking second round. So they're going 2-minute rounds, heavy gloves, you know, and
it's kind of a lose-lose for Jake Paul, low-key.
Oh, it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Let me fucking get in here, because I gotta bring this up. No, I gotta bring this up, because here's the thing.
And he beat up an old man.
Jake Paul is getting a chance to step into the ring with one of the undisputed best heavyweight boxers of all time. He gets to say that he fought him. Do you know how many other fighters in this generation get to say that? Almost zero. In fact, it is zero. Now, I get that, yes, it's an old man. It's not the exact prime you'd want to be in. The amount of money that these two gentlemen are about to make on Saturday night after the fight, it is ridiculous. The amount of brand awareness that is going to go to Jake Paul, this is nothing but a win for Jake Paul. Are you kidding me? Even if he gets knocked out, even if he gets knocked out,
we're not talking financially.
I got knocked out by Jake Paul or by Mike Tyson. You haven't.
Stand in line.
You could always make that up.
I think I could go. I think I'll be fine with going my whole life without getting knocked out by Mike Tyson. I think I'll be fine going my entire life without that.
Yeah, but you're also not trying to be a boxer. Like,
yeah, but then let him try and be a legitimate boxer. Fight legitimate fighters. Quit doing these oddball fights.
He does fight legitimate fighters. This is such a bad take.
Hold on. He had one legitimate fight and he lost
Perry,
it.
literally one of the baddest people on the planet. I would not want to fight Mike Perry. He knocked his ass the fuck out. We want to talk about other fighters. Tyrone Woodley, he knocked his ass the fuck out. If we're not even talking fighters, we're talking professional athletes. He knocked Nate Robinson out in one fucking round. I'm so tired of hearing that Jake Paul is not an actual boxer. That's the only thing you can't hate him for.
He's got
You
talent.
can hate him for everything else. He's an arrogant asshole, little cocky motherfucker. I'll give you that all day long.
Look, he has talent, and he's got a decent chin, and he fucking hits hard. Absolutely. But he's not top quality. He isn't.
I don't think he's advertising himself as top quality. I think it's mostly like his whole thing is like the journey to the top kind of thing.
He is
you know what I'm saying? It's
advertising-
like,
but
about how
he's sitting there, Hash,
nobody
but-
took him serious, and now he's like, all right, well, you guys better start taking me fucking serious. So now he's like,
But-
all right,
but-
starting to climb
but-
that ladder to where he's getting high profile fights, like higher profile fights.
But he's not climbing the ranks the way he should. Start out with small fights, earn your way to the top, and he's not doing
That's
that.
hard because it's like, how should you rise to the top? You know,
By taking the
Is there
smaller
really- is
fights
there-
and working
is there
your
re-
way up, earning the next big fight. He's not doing that.
Yeah, but okay, my question too. Here's my thing with boxing. I don't really give a shit about boxing because if we want to see who the best fighter is, put on
UFC.
4-pound gloves or 4 ounce
yeah.
gloves, and throw in some jujitsu, throw in some grappling. Like that's how you find out who the best actual like we're in a fight, who's gonna win fighter is. My thing with boxing, most of it is rigged. Let's be real. For years, it has been, judges who have been paid under the table by, I forget his name, by Don King back in the day, making their fighters look better. If all boxing is show and games, Jake Paul has become the best boxer of our generation. He has
Absolutely.
literally made 1 million people in my generation who knew nothing about boxing give a shit about something that they never would have cared about. And to me, that is the biggest talent you can have.
You're right.
Being
Boxing
a
probably would
marketer
have
to
died.
draw eyes.
And look, it's like Caitlin Clark. How many more millions
Valid.
of people now watch the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark?
Because of
now how many
greatness.
people are gonna leave because now that she's going overseas instead of competing in the WNBA?
Well, yeah, because
Right?
the WNBA is racist, brother.
Yeah, it's a bunch of.
I mean, it was. Just
Darker
watch some
complexion
film of how they
lesbians.
played Caitlyn.
And they hated a white girl that was spanking them. A straight
Hey, it's
white
okay.
girl
We
that
love
was
you,
spanking 'em.
Caitlyn. We support Caitlyn on this
Hey man,
podcast.
Caitlin Clark. Hey, all I can say
She's
is
a baller, bro.
fuck it, we ball, bro.
Yeah.
You cannot deny that.
She also made more than everyone in that league from Nike and Gatorade,
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah,
the joke's kind of on
absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
As she
No,
should.
but I think the thing with the Mike Tyson fight, I'm just excited to see Mike Tyson get into a ring. That's exciting. I think that's
I know.
cool.
I agree with that because
I
it's
do
like
agree with the take
when
that if Tyson gets to him before round 4 or 5, there is a very serious chance Jake Paul could be on his back seeing some stars.
Yeah.
But if it goes at all past that, there's a
He-
40-year
he
age
wins.
difference.
The endurance
cardio
race,
is
Jake
just
Paul will
going
win
to-
the endurance
yes.
race.
Yeah.
Like that. If Mike Tyson wins the endurance race, he's one of the
That-
greatest athletes
that's
I've ever
wild.
seen ever of all time ever. Like that's
He will
yes.
literally go down as the greatest.
Yes, no, and he should if he's able to do that because that's. I mean, overcoming the 40-year
'Cause, I mean, dude-
almost age difference is insane.
Absolutely, and it's like you have to look at it, right? I mean, how much does that boxing do to you, to the mind over time? Getting your fucking head scrambled that fucking often, right? Like, look at a lot of these boxers that once they're Mike Tyson's age, bro, they are completely different people.
Yeah. Just
Exactly, right? So the
incoherently.
fact that he's willing to go back, and I mean, to be fair, Mike Tyson got his brain scrambled, and dude, the guy is a different person, right?
Yeah,
Compared
I was gonna say, I was like, Hatch, I don't know how much I agree here because he's gone off the deep end a little bit, but I will say there's
Coming
that
back and fighting.
warrior. There's that warrior in Mike Tyson, and if you watch like a couple years ago, before he got back to do the little exhibition he did with what was that, Roy Jones Jr.
yeah.
Yeah, before he did that exhibition, he was completely retired. He wasn't working out. He was honestly working on his weed company, just smoking weed most of the day.
Yeah.
Just, kind of having a good time. And on that podcast, you could tell he was just kind of a chilled, laid back, like, I've lived my life. I fought my battles. I'm proud of what I did. I'm now here. And then that exhibition happened and that warrior came back out. Look, you can say a lot about Mike Tyson, but there is a fighting spirit in that man that is not, accessed by many people on this planet.
There's a dark place.
I completely agree.
There's a very dark place deep
Yes.
down inside of Mike Tyson.
And he
Yeah.
tries to. And you can tell for years he tried to keep it away, you know, kind of like, yeah, I like my life now. I'm the happy, you know, fun guy. This is a fun time. But you can tell once these fights started to come back in, he's like tapping back into it. And it's terrifying. I get why he was a badass motherfucker before I was born, dude.
When you want something so bad, everybody around you is speaking a whole other fucking language, right? And he is just, and the language that he speaks is the art of war, bro. Straight up.
It's not even necessarily wanting to win. It's this, like, you know, Maddie talks about all the time at paintball. We have warriors in the game, guys who are, you know, brave. They'll go into anything. They don't really give a shit, you know, die on your sword type guys. It's like that times a million. Like, it's you know, I'm a warrior going into a battle, and I'm not scared of what's in front of me at all.
You know,
and
okay,
to do that for, you know, 40 years past your prime is ridiculous.
You know, okay, so it definitely reminds me of this. What's that one MMA fighter? He's fuck, skinny black guy. It starts with it's a weird way how you pronounce it. He's a weeb.
Black guy.
He's like definitely a weeb. Fuck, what's his name?
What?
Okay, so anyway, so what the whole point is, right?
Black MMA fighter who's a weeb.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck a weeb is.
Asanya, is that his name? Asanya?
Oh, you're talking Izzy?
Adesanya.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't know how to pronounce it, right? So I think that guy, he did a lot of things in his fights where it kind of reminds me of like what Mike Tyson did, but I don't think Mike Tyson's ever been pushed that far where he's in the ring and he's like, I'm willing to die tonight. Like, I'm willing to die in this fucking ring. And I think that Mike Tyson has that mentality where he's like, where he channels that inner warrior where it's like just like what you said, where it's just like what these people talk about, but times 1,000.
Big difference too, though, in MMA and boxing, like I was saying earlier. In MMA, man, yes, you can have someone cut off your air supply, you know, your blood supply for a while. Like, you know, if you don't tap, that's something that's going to happen. Someone, you know, if they have an arm bar in and you don't tap and get out of it, the ref doesn't stop it, that arm's broken. Oops. Like, it's, you know, yes, in punching you can get knocked the fuck out. You know, you could go down and suffer some severe head damage.
You could also have your ear bitten off.
That's what I was gonna say. It's almost like he was like, I'm gonna do more damage. Like, he wasn't scared because he knew he was gonna make you hurt more.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, so I wanted to bring that up because I'm excited about it. It's happening tomorrow night. Official prediction, I'm gonna go Jake Paul right now. I mean, if it goes the distance at all, he'll win. If it's within a couple rounds, I could see Mike winning, but that's mine. Hatch, I want to hear.
You know, I want Mike to win because this is the first time that I'm actually seeing him while I actually gave a fuck about any of this. You know, so I think that I want Mike Tyson to win. But I think it's besides the whole fact that people think Jake Paul is an asshole, I think that for Jake Paul, it is a awesome ass success story. Get rid of the whole him doing his fucking all his past and shit. If you look at it where it's like him as a boxer, where it's like
frame it like this. The kid who grew up acting on Disney Channel is about to fight the most baddest motherfucker that like the planet
ever existed in boxing. Ever existed.
Yeah. And he's not looking like it's gonna be, you know, super lopsided. I think that's a respectable thing.
Like, Mike Tyson is one of those people where he could have fucking killed a guy in the ring if he wanted to. You know, his punches were that hard.
He tried to multiple times.
But
absolutely, right?
He was so quick and so precise. I mean, Tyson had everything down to just a millimeter. You know, the science of it. He really had it down to a science. And
Ali had speed. That was like really his greatest gift. Muhammad Ali, of course, he had power. He could make you feel hurt. But his thing was he was one of the quickest back in those days.
Yep. Yeah.
What I feel like Mike evolved was he had both.
Absolutely.
His right could put you down in a second, but he also was moving around you the whole time, keeping your head on a swivel. Like, he was kind of bringing in that, you know, that heavyweight puncher's hit with also being light on your feet and starting to evolve the game in that way.
You know, Tyson hits with his hips, with his legs, with his body, where Ali was dancing around and just tap, 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 you know, not throwing real big bombs because he was quick enough. You know, his feet and his hands were fast enough that he could just avoid not being hit. Tyson
and if you get hit, you know, 40 times in a round, that's going to start to add up. Like,
especially, let alone the same spot.
Tyson was in your face, pushing it, fucking digging deep and breaking bones. and just as fast, if not quicker, his hands, because he was compact and explosive. Dude, Tyson was an animal early on. It was a lot of fun watching his 92-second fights. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
First
It'd
round
always be
knockout,
over in the first round.
People were pissed. First round knockout. Yeah.
They'd buy the pay-per-view, and then, first round, it'd be like, it'd be over.
$45.
It's actually fun.
2 minutes later, it's over.
$45, that's cheap.
I know.
Nowadays, yeah, in Biden's America.
I listen to this motivational song every once in a while, and it has this part where it cuts to the interview with Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, and he's like,
"Oh yeah,"
and he's like, "Who would win if he in his prime fought you in his prime?" And Mike Tyson's like, "Oh no, like." Yeah. Every head must bow. Every tongue must confess.
Yeah.
He is the best.
He's
right?
the greatest.
And it's like,
yeah.
That is, Mike Tyson has dropped some wisdom that is so wise and that is so easily relatable on every single level.
And
I didn't know
he does, and Ali's man, like I'd be running the whole time. I'd be running because if he hits me, he's knocking me out.
And you can see it in that clip. He has
he's literally like
kind of coy smile of like,
exactly.
Sure
he's like,
I
was dancing in the ring, but if he hits me,
exactly. Yeah,
just acts like he gets knocked out.
Slumps over. Yeah.
So that's one thing I truly do like about Mike Tyson is he is a truly humble man. But when he does have that warrior spirit, there's nothing that he is willing to be conquered by.
Yeah.
I think the way to say that it's not when he has that spirit. He's one of those people who does have that spirit. Where it's innate in him, this sixth gear, this something extra that just normal human beings like myself don't have.
It almost reminds me of like the kind of spirit where it's like that the 300 Spartans have to have, where it's like 300 of those Spartans had that spirit, where it's like
that's
nowadays,
that's a myth, right? That's a historical myth.
But
there weren't actually 300 soldiers.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. Listen to Hollywood Hatch.
Whatever. But
Ezio Auditore was also not a real person. I hate to break your mind right now.
I know that, but basically he was.
In your head. All right.
Basically he was. Yeah. Basically.
But yeah, so that's the Iron Mike side. One last topic I did want to bring up tonight. We won't go into it much because we're getting towards the end. But I do just need to mention it quick. Fish Tank. Fish Tank has gone back to being Fish Tank. I know last time we talked about it, it was still being Famous House. They have broken everything. The people have been broken. It is now Fish Tank again. It's going crazy. They're doing all their old bits. They made them count rice. Fish Tank's back. It's hitting back into its great run. They're doing a lot of cool things this season. I always love that show. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Cucumber Feet on YouTube does really good recap videos. When I was out at the event, I was kind of checking his stuff out because obviously I was busy at the event. I couldn't watch it live. But yeah, it's literally on my second monitor right now. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, so that's Fish Tank. Go check it out. It's a lot of stuff's happening over that. We'll probably talk about it more in next couple episodes as it's starting to wrap up as well. But yeah, Brandon, did you before we get out of here, did you have anything kind of final you wanted to bring up either with your dad, for yourself?
So I actually want to touch on World Cup really quick. Dude, it was so much fun. It was my favorite event to be at. And it was so big, and just meeting so many people, talking with so many people. The way it ended, cherry on top, like it was fucking great game. But I met so many fans, so many listeners.
It was amazing.
This shit was awesome. I was being
awesome.
stopped. I took a couple pictures with some guys. Sorry, a couple of you I couldn't take pictures. I was in the middle of running paint. Sorry. But a couple shout outs. Dre, he was in the VIP on Sunday, talking with him, running paint. It goes by Doc Holiday on Instagram. He told me that.
Doc Holiday. That's cool.
Yep.
All right.
Met him. Jonathan from Canada. We met him, Hatch. I don't
Love
think we
our
got
Canadians.
Did we get a? I forgot who has a
I
picture.
think you guys got a
Someone
story
has
with him
picture of
because I think I got tagged in one of those.
Yes, yeah. So he got a picture.
Was the one where we took a picture by the porta potty? That one?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah.
We met up with Tam Fam. Yep.
I'm on the
Tam
goddamn
Fam.
pro field all the time, so people don't run into me. But yeah,
Dude,
that's cool. That
She was awesome. Tam Fam.
I try to be around the divisionals as much as I genuinely possibly can because I do enjoy watching it. I like seeing that next generation. I like seeing the youth of paintball growing for sure.
Nah, you can keep the refugee camp that is the divisional pit area over by itself. I'm gonna go stay at the posh and the Four Seasons over at the NXL Pro Media.
Yeah, la-dee-da. Yeah.
Dude, I will say, when you go from the pro pit area to divisionals, it is a goddamn change of scenery, man.
Without
It
a
is
doubt.
like, it's literally like you go from like the UN checkpoint into the third world country. It's always a wild time over there.
So,
Absolutely.
And then the first listener I met, Marcelo.
Shout out to that guy.
This is a story. I met him on Friday. All right. So after our first game, or I'm trying to get my gun chronoed in before our first game starts, my CS3, and all of a sudden it stopped shooting. Don't know what the hell's trying to troubleshoot. All right, fuck it. We got 5 minutes before the game. Let me just pull out my CS2.
Pull out the CS1.
Yeah, almost. I pulled out the CS2, shot my CS2 that game. After that game, I dropped it off at Planet Eclipse because we had like 2 hours before in between matches, and like it was like 45 minutes. No, more like 30 minutes before our second game, our last prelim game. Got a text from PE that my gun was ready. It's like, oh fuck yeah, sweet. So I go walking over, get halfway through the event, and fuck, I don't know why PE's all the way in the front of the event. What the fuck? Like,
Literally the furthest possible. You gotta walk a mile and a half to get up there from the
it's
divisional
fucking
field.
ridiculous. So I get past Virtue, so like halfway, I was like, damn, I don't have my ticket. Michelle has my ticket. So I go walking back, and I call her. I was like, hey, meet me over by
Meet me
the entrance, whatever.
halfway.
Yeah, the entrance for the semi-pro fields. And I'm walking by, and I'm passing the Hydra booth, and this guy's looking at me, and I'm trying to walk fast. I'm like, and he kind of like points at me. I didn't think he was pointing at me, so I kind of like look back of like, who's he pointing at? He goes, Brando. I was like, oh shit, me. He goes,
I was like, oh, wait, you
to
know me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in FTS. I listen to you all the time. I was like, no shit. Like him and his buddy Mike. Yeah, so I sat there talking with him. Michelle walks up, introduced them. He met Michelle. We got a picture together, and I was talking with him for about a good 15 minutes, and I'm like, I gotta go get my gun.
Completely left your ex-girlfriend
But
hanging.
yeah, I will say, like, he loves the show. He loves the fact that we're uncensored. He really appreciates
Yeah,
that.
well, he better.
He
all right?
fucking. Oh,
we
dude,
don't get
it's-
restricted
dude,
monetization
yeah.
for nothing.
It was great
okay?
talking
yeah.
to Marcel. let me
Dude,
just say.
yep. Hatch met him later. Like,
He's the kind of guy where you want to genuinely sit down and enjoy a beer with, and you
Yeah.
will enjoy it. So
Yeah,
you say
yeah.
whatever the fuck you want around that guy.
Yeah, like,
I'll do
dude,
that.
just met him, and like our conversation's just flowing. It was good.
Yeah, he's
it
a
was
great
good to meet
guy.
him. And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, man. Getting ready for a game. I gotta go get my gun right now. He goes, oh yeah, you know. So I go walking. We walk over, and fucking long ass line in PE. So I'm standing there. And Michelle gets a text
Do
like,
these people know I'm a semi-pro?
yeah. Do you know who I am?
Do they know?
Do you know who my dad is? Yeah.
You know about FTS?
It's a
FTS
long ass
flex.
line, dude. And Michelle gets a text of like, oh, they're going to grab paint. I was like, all right, cool. We're almost there, whatever. So get my gun and we start walking back, and like, walking back kind of fast. And Michelle's like, oh, they're getting ready. Go, run. I was like, all right. So I start booking it, and I'm like, holy shit, like I'm gonna get there just in time. And as I'm coming up to the pits, and I'm looking for him, I'm like, all right, we're in home pit, second point. Okay, oh cool, I see Wong. Where's everyone? Oh fuck, we're on the field. Like the point's already played. I'm like, god damn it, no. Yeah, they just started the first point, and yeah, I walk in, I'm just like, dude, this is bad. But
Hey, Chim.
I said nothing. I came in, I grabbed my gun, I loaded pods up. I was like, I'm ready. All right.
I was honestly,
right?
I was the only
I'm a
one who said
starter.
anything. I was the only one who said anything. I go,
Yeah.
where the fuck have you been?
Really good conversation with a guy.
I did. So Chim walks over. He goes, "You good?" I was like, "Yep." Sorry, had to get my gun. He goes, "All right, cool." And that was it. That was the only thing I said with Chim during the until after the game. But yeah,
If I did that, I'm cut.
dude, yeah,
You
Hatch,
should be, Hatch.
Hatch
If I
came
did
at
that,
the look that Hatch gave me was
You're
like,
not
"Where the
playing
fuck have you
another
been?" Dude, I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh no, dude. Oh fuck, I'm in trouble."
Dude, Brandon, that's when be thankful Hatch isn't a 2, because I guarantee you would have made it out to your first bunker and he would have just
shoot
roped
me
you
right
for
in
the
the back.
fuck of it and been
Yeah,
like, I'm
no,
no,
gonna
you know what
full
I would?
slide
I
into
would have
it.
taken a note out of fucking Brando's book and said, "Hey, bro, I got you," and then just fucking close my eyes. The fucking Brando special.
I'll get a rundown.
Damn it.
Well, for sure.
fucking loves that one.
Another guy that's actually, you reminded me when you mentioned the Hydra booth. I want to give a shout out to Jay Urban as well. He's a guy down here I know he spends most of his time out at Paintball Fit in Dallas. But he's a part of Paintball Fit's pit crew. Every time I'm at PB Fit, he's always saying what's up to me, you know, talking about the podcast, the content that we do. So I definitely appreciate his support and all of the guys who are like that, who, you know, if you see Hatch at the field, Brando at the field, me at the field, you're letting us know that not only are you tuning in, but you actually enjoy what you're hearing as well. Because speaking for these guys, that's the stuff that keeps us going. This
We'll talk
show
forever
doesn't make
unless we're forced
thousands
to
of
do something
dollars. Well, exactly, but this show doesn't make thousands of dollars. We're not getting rich sitting here talking. We're doing it because we love it, and so when we get audience feedback, especially directly from you guys in person, it's incredibly rewarding, and I know I always appreciate it. So yeah, if you ever see any of us, do not hesitate. Come say what's up, shake our hand, let us know you listen to the show.
I
We'll
just
try to
have
give you a
resting
couple
bitch
minutes.
face. I swear.
Yeah.
It's the
He's
quava,
just the
dude.
nicest guy I know. He just looks like an asshole.
Genuinely, dude. I think it might be just because whenever I don't have my sunglasses on, I'm like this. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like looking so fucking angry because I'm like squinting because the sun's hurting my eyes.
Sun hurt eye. I look angry.
Sun hot.
Sun.
Sun bright. Need
Yeah,
cave.
Tatch, you're about 96% Neanderthal. I feel like if you did the 23andMe, you'd have
Isn't
quite
that
a lot
basically
of
what
that
all
in there.
Italians are?
You're not Italian. You're
Yeah,
Mexican.
you're Mexican.
Oh, Val, you know what? That makes
You're
way
Mexican.
more sense.
We're changing that. We're
you know,
rewriting
way
your
more
history.
sense.
You do look more Mexican than Brandon, and Brandon is half Mexican.
See? Yeah.
Nice, hell yeah.
What the fuck, Brandon? Oh yeah, that's true. I guess
I knew
put that
Brando was half
together.
Mexican.
How
Yeah,
did
I
you
know,
not know
yeah.
that?
No, I knew the separate pieces of info. I just didn't bring them together, and now it's making more sense.
And look how just pale he is.
Oh, I know. He could be my brother. You know, we're white as fuck, bro.
Honestly, let me just give a special shout out, dude. Let me just tell you, 2 people in this call would not be here right now if it was not for Brando's dad getting lucky. So let me just fucking say, shout out, dude. Thank you for getting lucky, Papa
There we go.
Iron Man. Let me just say,
Yeah,
I fucking appreciate you bringing me my fucking boy.
for
I appreciate it.
fucking laying pipe on his mom. There you
Conversations
go.
I've never had with my father. God damn.
Dude, the thing is, it's so fucking funny because it's like
Just
it's like
letting it soak. That's all I did. Let it soak, baby.
Oh God.
dude, that's like one of those moments where it's like
Don't need IVF.
imagine like on Xbox 360, we're like, oh yeah, well I fucked your mom. This guy's actually talking shit to Brando right now, like actually,
Yeah.
like IRL.
Dude, I so want to bring that up to my kids someday. Just
Dude.
put some deep trauma in them, you know, when they're like 10 and they're like, oh yeah, but I did this, Dad. Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
fucked
but
your
I-
mother.
Banged your
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah, I
God
feel like
damn.
ultimate power. You win forever, and you know,
Holy fuck.
in that father-son relationship.
How do you even come back
Oh my
from that?
God! All right, well, on that note, we're ending the show. Hatch, what is the code word of the week for this week, Hatch?
Hey, just like code word, just like Brando, Daddy's boy. That's the
God.
code phrase of the week, Daddy's boy.
I don't like that one. Okay.
Wow. Youngblood.
Something I
Of
wish
all
I
the
could
things
be,
you
but
could
you
have
know.
said, that's where you choose to go. That's why it's his segment, ladies and gentlemen. The Hatch code word of the week.
Yeah.
Brandon Brando Baird, who's the cool guy of the week?
Dude, cool guy of the week is I found this guy, Calamar White. No. Jesus Christ.
Calamar White.
Calamar White. This man created a
I see this
business
guy.
to where you could anonymously put in like a request for him to go tell off your boss.
Oh, yeah.
Respectfully.
Oh, I've
think
seen this. I've seen
okay,
this.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he'll go
He'll
and
show
like,
up.
you know.
Yep, he'll read the script, what you want, what a word for word, what you want to say to your boss, and your boss has no idea who it's from. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
he's doing
no,
the Lord's
I
work.
respect it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's providing a service that is deeply needed in this time.
Damn straight.
Brandon, get his number for me.
Yeah, yeah, you need that.
You need him? All
that.
right. All right, guys. Well, with that, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Got to remind you guys to go ahead and rate the show, whatever platform you're listening on. Drop a thumbs up on YouTube. Drop a rating, a 5-star on either the podcast platforms. Doing so takes just a second of your time. It really does help us, makes us look better on the podcast platforms, gets more people in to view the show. So if you please take the second, it's free. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for doing that. Make sure you also subscribe on these platforms as well: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. You'll get the notification when the next show is live and ready to go. Makes it nice and simple. We got the Patreon as well. Machine Gun Mike is a member of it. If you want to see the random and wild fun facts about Brandon's life that he drops every couple months in there, you got to be signed up for the Patreon. You also get access to the show early every single week. You get access to ad-free versions of the show as well as bonus content when it is available. There's a lot of cool benefits to being a Patreon member. Go ahead over to patreon.com/mafia_Mafia to get signed up today. We also have the merch website at www.xxvthelabel.com. Got a little tongue-tied there. But xxvthelabel.com, they do a lot of great stuff with creatives, not only in paintball, but outside of paintball. Link down in the description, we have the collection up there, the Stabbers Don't Get Stabbed shirt, the Mafia Productions tee, the vintage throwback from the Sidelines logo. There's a lot of cool things on there. Go grab some for yourself today. And then lastly, I got to remind you guys about our sponsors, Liquid IV, liquidiv.com. They helped paintball fit win World Cup. I'm going to stand by that one tonight. Use promo code Mafia_Mafia, get 20% off and free shipping. NECTR Energy, NECTR.energy, NECTR.energy is their website. Promo code MafiaProductions to get buy two, get one free. And then last but not least, Welt's Clothing. Code FTS at checkout at weltsclothing.com is going to get you 10% off your order. All right, guys. Well, that's all the important things I've got to talk about. Before we finally skedaddle out of here, Machine Gun Mike, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like we talked for an hour and 45 minutes, and there's still 2 more hours of content that we could go over.
Easily.
But yeah. No, I thank you so
Definitely.
much for giving up your time. For everyone listening, I was not lying. We had about 40 minutes of technical issues to even get into this show.
Yeah, we
it's
did.
already midnight over here for me, but I'm glad we stuck through it. We had a great show tonight. I'm very happy we were able to finally get you on, and
God.
that it worked out for Brandon's 100th episode. So congratulations as well to our man Brandon. Kind of becoming an adult.
When
I'm kind of proud of the kid.
kind of, almost, still semi-pro. So we'll come back to that situation when
I don't want your
you'll be in the
proudness
pro.
till I'm fucking pro. Let me just say
Exactly.
that right now.
Brandon, you did wear a helmet till you were 9, so whatever.
I'm still in diapers. So
Amen.
Yeah.
You know, and the cool thing about this episode is, dude, this is basically like part 1 of like the World Cup recap. Because, dude, there is still so much stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally have a stack of notes of things that happened at World Cup, dude. So this is just part 1. Part 1.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. And as I said, we'll have some guests to help us along the way.
When we finally, go over to the milestone of pushing from a 2-hour show to a 4-hour show, I mean, we got the man right here that can chug us along.
Brandon, we're never doing a 4-hour goddamn podcast. We're not Painkiller already, all right,
Eventually,
bro? We
episode,
do it at
episode
2.5
600.
hours,
I
and
think
even
you-
then, that's too much.
I think one time where we just kind of like just let it fucking fly and just leave the record button, little dilly dally there. here and there.
No, because you know what happens?
You
This is
lose
exactly what happened to
listeners.
PKA. No, what happens is you say, hey guys, we're gonna do a special episode where we're gonna go for 4 hours, because that's a long time, right? And then 10 years later, you're gonna be doing 4-hour shows every week of your life because the audience loved it so much.
Well, you gotta remember, we just gotta limit ourselves. You know, we can't get into the addiction. We just
we're
gotta
never doing 4-hour shows.
truly limit ourselves and make sure that the addiction does not
As
get
the
too
two
far.
people who show up and do nothing but talk on a microphone and don't have to edit the podcast, we're never doing 4 hours. I'm putting my foot down. All right, unless you start editing the podcast, we're not doing 4 hours.
We each, Hatch and I, we each get 1 vote. Ryan, you get 2 votes. So
That is true, because I do more work around here. All right.
We'll see what the 4th member of our broadcast studio, Lastro Lopez, has to say.
That
about
is
it.
true. Lastro has
Wow, I
the
thought you were
5%
gonna say
kicker,
me.
and I
Thanks,
know
Hat.
he's gonna be on my side.
Hey, Papa Iron Man, where's the mustache at? Papa Iron Man, where's the mustache at?
I had to walk into my room to plug my phone in. I was down to like
Yeah.
7%.
Oh, it's
Hey,
getting
well, I'm
close.
glad
But,
you're here, still here.
yeah, and that's the good thing about Scott having the other 5% is he'll always just choose my side. So no matter what, we're fine.
We'll see.
This is how you
he's
work
fired,
out.
So
We'll see.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I made him the 4th member of our broadcast studio. Shout out Lastro Lopez. Love you, buddy. But yeah, guys, that's the show. We got to get the fuck out of here. I was on a good sleep cycle, but now I'm no longer going to be. For my co-host, Brando Baird, for Stephen Hatch, for our very special guest who joined us tonight, Michael Baird, also known as Machine Gun Mike from back
Papa
in the
Iron Man.
day. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned on in, everyone who we saw at World Cup. It's always a blast when we get to run into you guys. And yeah, here's to more episodes down the way. Brandon, cheers to your 100th. And yeah, so for Stephen Hatch, for Brando Baird, for Michael Baird as well, I'm Ryan Mafia Moffat. Hatch, do that thing you do.
Bye.
We'll see you guys on the next one.